Hey everybody, Renegade 67 or 68, whichever is your preference, here with some more Let's Play Stream Fate Stay Night Unlimited Wire Blades of the Blind variety. Last time, not much happened. Yep, I'm making it real. It's officially its own video. It's just gonna be short. There was some recappy stuff, but it wasn't much. There's some more recappy stuff. This should be the last of the recappy. The last time shouldn't have even been all recappy, but it was. So this time, no thank you, please. It's all decided. Saber stays approved, Fujine is staying, and Sakura's gonna keep them company as well. Force company +2. Or something. I made that joke last time. We already saw this line, right? What exact line did we stop on? I don't know. The population here has increased drastically in just one day. I think we stopped on the line before that one? Whatever. This place really is like a hotel now. Hotel Transylvania? No, that is a movie I have seen. At some point I want to watch the second one. The first one was alright. Hotel Mario? I felt like making a hotel joke, but now I want to make a relevant joke to the hotel, but I don't think I can think of one. Transylvania was on the mind. There's Hotel Mario. I'm sure there's some Fate Hotel fan spin-off, maybe not even fan fiction out there. Anyways, the joke makes itself. It's bedtime. The lights finally go out in the noisy tatami floored room and silence returns. They say it gets noisy whenever women in fact, wherever women gather. Who's they? You mean Kiritsugu? Is he spreading his sexisms to you? Sexismisms. Anyways, and I guess that holds true even for the quiet Saber and Sakura. I think it's because it's because Sakura wants her peni that she would get all talky with Saber to be like, do you know what kind of, how do you know him? Are you, that kind of thing?
いや、違うか。メインで聞こえてきたのは藤姉の笑い声だもんな。
That's true too. No, that's wrong. I mostly hear Fujine's laughter. One's a crowd in this case. Still, it's true that it was loud in that room. It's not good for my mental health to have girls my age being rowdy in the same house. At least it's not the same exact room.
くそ。気になって眠気なんてなくなった。
Damn, my sleepiness went away thinking about them. Oh yeah, your hornball nature. You just gotta think of, when you want to get the hornball nature out of your head, just think of, I don't know. I guess that's your only real hobby, huh? Think of mechanics. Just think of unless you, use your mechanics as, an innuendo for, when you're holding that wrench, you're like, what if I was holding something else? But maybe not. It might not relate, and if it doesn't, you could use it as a way to unhorn yourself, so to speak. Yeah, he really only sleeps 4 hours a day. He should, fix that. My sleepiness went away thinking about them. Things like Saber's troubled face. If Saber and Sakura are getting along, I want the two women that are lusting for me to like each other at least. And whether Fujine is thinking at all or not. Does Fuji even think? I get a headache the more I think about them. If it's like this, it might have been better to have Saber sleep in the room next to mine. Yeah, giggity. I mean, I get why, but giggity. Dash dash dash. It's 11 o'clock. The lights are out and the house is dead silent. Oh, so everybody went to sleep. Great. Or at least they shut up. Knowing Fuji, I don't think she can shut up till she sleeps. Even when she sleeps, she might not shut up. She sounds like someone who'd be a loud sleeper, she'd talk in her sleep and make all kind of noises. I quietly make my way to the door so I won't wake them up. Oh, right, because you're going out to your mechanic training. No wonder his mental health is so bad when the lack of sleep and him acting dumb a lot more justified. Oh, well, whatever, sure. Yet he's smarter here, so, I don't think your argument holds up. It doesn't work. He's still smart, even with low sleep. I go outside. The moon is bright. The wind is cold. I don't know. This somehow is leading into me going, simply having a wonderful. It still looks like Christmas outside to me. Almost halfway into March. By the end of March, will the weather have calmed down? Probably. Possibly. Usually by the end of March. Sometimes it spills into April a little. Under the winter sky, the world is silent as if frozen. It's quiet inside the shed. Winter sky, world is silent as if frozen. Is there a metaphor there? Or, it's just, it's silent. So, it's as if it's frozen. Implying, does anybody use freezer weapons in this Grail War? Not that we know of, but they could. And then Shiro could get frozen later on. And it would be like, haha, I theorized about him freezing because of this line. Take that, future me. I predicted it all. It's quiet inside the shed. Or maybe it is frozen because it's frozen in a cycle. It's frozen in a cycle of time because this isn't the real progression. The progression was shunted backwards after the original timeline because the Grail War did a hokey pokey, right? And that's why this is not just, this is the metaphor. Because it is frozen in the wonky, timey-wimey spear of stuff. Anyways, it's quiet inside the shed. This is the place where Lancer cornered me last night. Was it only one night ago? This is also the place where Saber appeared. The entrance is open and it's dark inside as if to drive away anybody that might enter. But not me. Because I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. I go inside. I shut the door to keep the air out and turn on the stove. There's definitely meaning to that, though. Entrance is open, it's dark inside as if to dry away anybody that might enter. I go inside. You're supposed to not enter, but he enters anyway. Now, is he saying maybe he's just now recognizing you're not supposed to enter, but he entered anyway? Is that call back to the distant past about how Kiritsugu didn't want him entering, but he entered anyway? Because of his slight Death Seeker stuff, if he got in here and it killed him, so be it, he was supposed to die? Where are you at in the story currently? Well, thank you for asking, Psychotic Killer. We are currently in the Unlimited Blade Works timeline thing, I guess, early on. We're fairly early on. Yesterday, Lancer, fought Saber. Saber was summoned, and then we met Rin, and now this is the next day after that, and we're about to go to sleep. We just got Saber, met Sakura and Taiga, and now they're going to sleep in the room with me, so Sakura's staying over instead of in the other timeline, or Rin shoot her away. But Rin's not staying over because she has a secret love crush on me and feels weird about it now that Archer's around because he didn't get dismembered, so now she's gonna attack me. But I don't know that, but it could happen, I'm guessing. That's where we are. I shut the door to keep the air out and cold. Turn, nope, on the stove. Shoot at least 200 arrows a day, huh? Oh, right, and this is the through line. Shooting them at his mind will help him have a better understanding of what he wants, maybe? Shoot the 200 arrows in your mental image. Where do you want to shoot them? Where do you want your life to go? He actually can think about this now, that he's past timeline 1, past, hating himself for all eternity, maybe? The teachings of archery focuses on accuracy, piercing strength, and endurance. Accuracy, where do you want to go with your life? Piercing strength, how effective are you at it? And endurance, how much are you willing to fight past the failures of getting to where you want to go? Accuracy is how well one can hit the target. Piercing strength is the power to pierce the target. And endurance is to maintain the accuracy and piercing strength. Yo, sure, but my metaphor is cool too, right? I think there was something in an archery manual. Something about continuing forever after one masters the true meaning of archery. Because meaning is never over. As long as you live, there's still live to be lived, so go to the direction of the living. Just because you hit one target doesn't mean you've hit every target that you want to hit. So aim for whatever your next target is. Your next, target in life. Metaphors. And how one should shoot more than 200 arrows a day. I don't know if I have 200 goals in life every day to meet, but, I think I get the implication.
I don't
know what to do as a master, so I should at least train my magic. What do you want to do as a master, though? You're still not doing it properly. Where do you want to shoot your arrow? You want to... theoretically, the training his magic would be he might have good endurance. He might, be good at attaining the goal, or he might have good piercing strength. Those might be still good, but he really needs accuracy. I think he's very much lacking accuracy still. At least Timeline 1 gave him that accuracy for a bit, which made him somewhat focused when he was accurate towards wanting to bone Saber really hard. But, in the end, his piercing strength faltered. his piercing saber strength faltered a little bit when he when he realized he was maybe shooting a target that shouldn't be shot at. Win Grail for a saber, stop any evil masters. Sure, but he's just saying himself he doesn't know what to do as a master. So even if he has a long goal, you need some shorter goals. If you have a big goal but no shorter goals to get there along the way, you need baby steps. You can't just say, I'm going to do that eventually. If you don't know the steps to get there, then you're just going, I sit down and take a deep breath. I adjust my breathing and start my usual training. My mind imagines the same thing. An image of a sword that pops into my brain. Dash, 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 dash. I ignore it and clear my head even more. Ignore the sword. This time we're thinking about bows and arrows. After letting magical energy flow through my body, I start the strengthening magic like always. The magic that I succeeded at for the first time in a few years last night. I have to repeat it before I forget the sensation.
Trace. On.
English. I narrow my eyes and breathe out. That's all for now. I'll forget about the Holy Grail War, Saber, and Tosaka once I start this process. You felt the need to specifically list Tosaka there. Interesting. She's on the mind. You didn't list Archer. You didn't list Sakura. You listed Tosaka, though. He's ignoring his sword birth. No, he needs his sword birth so he can birth the swords to shoot them as arrows, which is what he does in the future when he becomes Archer in the future past. I clear my head from all hesitations. But during the process, the thought that Tosaka might be doing the same training never escapes my head. Oh yeah, Tosaka's on the brain. The dance has begun. No, she'd never do the exact same training. Her training would be different. Because, Interlude 4-1, Unlimited Blade Works. That's right, this is where I stopped. Because there's an interlude to Rin? Oh, is this a Rin interlude? Yeah, we never got here. That's right. As soon as I saw that it said Unlimited Blade Works, I stopped. It's an interlude. I forgot that it was even an interlude. I didn't remember. That's why we stopped. Interlude. So if it's an interlude, it's Rin then? That's what I assume. Let's see here. That is his... That's his most prominent female, is what I thought you said for a second. His most prominent. You're talking about his endurance. She goes to the... We haven't been in Rin's perspective since the prologue. In hindsight, that's kind of weird that, like, Rin is the prologue. If it is, you have to do them in a specific order. The fact that you start with the saber banging, and yet the prologue is just Rin for all of them, is an interesting, plot choice. But she goes through the darkness. A desolate night. Is this really a Rinterlude after all? I like the name. If we actually get to see inside her head right now, that'll be really interesting, because I think her head is all messed up right now. It was already messed up, but Shiro messed with it even more, because now I think she's super horny for Shiro and doesn't know how to deal with that. She enters the room from the dark hallway. Oh, fuck, what? Dash, 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 dash. Is this in her head, or is this really happening? Is this Rin? For now, let's assume it's Rin. She goes through the darkness, a desolate night. She enters the room from the dark hallway. Blood. Someone's bleeding. She's investigating a murder scene? Maybe she's investigating the murders that have been happening around here because she thinks they're related to a master? Was she doing this kind of thing in the other pathway too? We just didn't see much of it? Or was she not bothering because Archer was injured? She did some of her own stuff in the other pathway, but we didn't get much of a look. This is a room in a building somewhere. There are about 50 workers here. Okay, 50 workers. Oh, wait. I think we heard about... No, unless I'm thinking of something else. We heard about a thing where, like, something bad happened to the building, but miraculously they all survived. They were just injured. And that was Shinji training, theoretically, or Caster, or something like that. Or I'm crazy, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Most are male, and all of them are scattered about like puppets with their strings cut off. Puppets? Oh, maybe it's Caster then. Maybe Caster was getting... Maybe Caster... So I know the skeletons that Caster's using, she ended up controlling Saber in some of the bad endings. So I was wondering if Saber was being merely controlled at the time, or she did some technique that let her specifically body switch. I'm assuming body switch, given that they were like trying to sense Caster's presence and she just disappeared. So that's where my mind goes, is body switch. But maybe that's what she has to do for stronger servants. Maybe for random randos, though, those skeletons were real people that she killed and then took their corpse to make as mooks for her. So maybe that's what this is alluding to, is she's gathering mooks. Possibly. Most of them are male and all are scattered about like puppets with their strings cut off. The analogy just very much suggests Caster, so that's why I think that's what they're talking about. Yeah, that's Maya Matsunaga. That's Rin's voice actor. Dash, 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 dash. She grits her teeth. It is interesting that when we're in Shiro's perspective, the pronouns go like I and all that. Okay, this really makes me wonder how it's done in Japanese though, because I, me, my, and all that shit. Oh no, she and he is different. Never mind. I was gonna say I, me, and my are all the same word in Japanese. You would just use boku for all of them, or watashi. But he is different. You would use like kare, or she is... I forget off the top of my head, but that is a different word. So never mind, it would be different. It's interesting that it's different, because... I'm assuming, maybe I'm remembering wrong, in the prologue, will we have used third person too, or for the prologue specifically we used first person? And it switches to third person just for these interludes, but it was first person back before when we were Rin, unless it wasn't, and it was always third person back before we were Rin, I'm just forgetting. It's interesting, the choice that they're making here. I don't know if it suggests something deeper, because this represents the idea that someone is looking in at Rin and telling it maybe to Shiro's mind. Before, with Saber, it makes perfect sense, because Saber and Shiro are connected. With Rin, though, you know, maybe there is a connection anyway. If, you know, Archer is Shiro from the future past, there'd be a connection anyway, you know, on a deep level. Alternatively, the Grail is connected with Shiro, and that's why Shiro's going through a timey-wimey thing, making him do it again with the same experiences. In theory, if that's happening, maybe there's just a connection between the Grail and Shiro, so the Grail is feeding Shiro this information deep in his subconscious, and that's why it's, like, telling it to him. I suppose it could just be telling it to us, but then I wonder, why wouldn't it just be first person? It feels like, to me, it would be something that's deeper, but maybe it's not deeper at all. It just feels like, to me, like it would be. Otherwise, they would just do everything first person, or everything third person. Anyways, she grits her teeth. It's Super Prime Shiro looking over all the timelines and interludes. Something like that, yeah. The darkness is helping her as she cannot see well. The darkness is helping her as she cannot see well. What? But she doesn't have good magical vision like Shiro? What do you mean? The air in this room is filled with the rotten smell of a plant. A plant? Okay. The darkness is helping her as she cannot see well. Oh, she doesn't want to see well because it's a bunch of corpses and she doesn't want to see them? Maybe that's what they're suggesting. Filled with the rotten smell of a plant?
何の子だろうこれ。あーちゃん、あなたわかる？
What is this smell? Can you tell, Archer? Opening the door and the windows, she asked someone beside her. Behind her. Yeah, whatever. Where are you? There is no one there. But there's a presence thicker than air behind her, right? Because Archer's still invisible. But he can talk to her, even when he's all invisible and stuff.
魔女の難航だろう。セリカの愛を破壊するとかいうやつかな。
Must be a witch's potion. Okay, this heavily suggests Caster then, given that we already know she's a female. The one that destroys love. Okay, we didn't know Caster to be much for love altering. Unless Caster somehow was snooping on Shiro. Okay, that's the thing, though. Didn't I talk about this? Caster, unless Caster was just able to do some big thing where she was able to sense Shiro from afar, she had to figure out who Shiro was in advance. Now, it's very possible she could have easily, because Shiro, Rin, Ilya, all a bunch of magic people were staying in one place at once. It's very possible that Caster could have just sensed them all without ever, like, running into them, you know, because that's the other theory, is that what if she somehow snooped him out in advance by running into him, like, what if Issei is the master, and that's how she knew where he was, but it doesn't have to be true, but it's something I've thought of. Destroying love, though, suggests further, if what happened with Saber wasn't like a body steal or something, if it's based on a potion that destroys love, maybe this is me reaching way too far, I usually am, but if this is a potion that destroys love, maybe Caster found out about Shiro and Saber's weird grody relationship, and tried to use it on Saber, which reversed it from, oh, Saber, you love Shiro, to, oh, you fucking hate Shiro. So that Saber would kill Shiro, like she does in the one bad ending I lucked into. You didn't miss much, but we're basically just starting the new stuff. Rin is having an interlude, I feel, and that's very interesting. Definitely suggests her as the girl of choice in this pathway, because in Timeline 1, Saber was our only ever interlude. So this definitely highly suggests, if I wasn't already thinking it, that Rin will be our bangable girl of choice in this timeline. So anyways, there seems to be a bunch of dead males specifically. The one that destroys love must be a witch's potion.
それって毒人参でしょ？愛を破壊って。ああ、そういうこと。男に何か怨恨でもあるのかしらね。
You mean
この惨状
Hemlock?
の仕掛け人は。
By destroys love, you mean... Oh, I see. The culprit must have some grudge against men. Grudge against men? Did Caster hate men? Ryder didn't like people. Did she say she... Don't answer this, because I don't remember. And it's more fun to use the stuff I remember to my advantage versus stuff I don't remember. Did Ryder say she hates people or hates men? She said one of those. In theory, this could still be Ryder, because Ryder set up the blood fort, but the fact they're talking about puppets makes me think of the Scullies that Caster was using. So that's where my mind goes, but it could be Ryder as well. Culprit must have some grudge against men.
だとすると、相手は女かな。いや、何の恨みがあるか知らんが、サーバントになってまで八つ当たりするとは根が深い。
I wasn't making a Ryder and Caster theory. I was just saying that I think it could be Ryder or Caster. Ryder and Caster could still be the same person. I haven't entirely ruled it out. Have we seen them in the same room at the same time? But I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying I think this could be either of them. Not that they're the same person. Oh, they fucking could be. It must be a woman. I don't know what kind of grudge she has, but it must be a big one to keep taking out on people even after she's become a servant. This further suggests that, Archer's being like, it's a woman. We only know 2 women servants. That's a lie. Saber's also a woman servant. But spoilers, I don't know if you know this, guys, but Saber didn't do this. Shh. I came from the future and found out that it wasn't Saber. Unless it was! Then I'm lying to you. To keep the spoiler a bigger surprise.
能書きはいいから窓を開けて。倒れてる連中はまだ息があるか。この分だと今から連絡するのも朝になって発見されるのも変わらない。
Stop talking and open the windows. They're still breathing. I guess it makes no difference if they're found now or tomorrow. You ever seen Kirei and Archer in the same room? Which Archer? Really though, Ryder and Caster, where that theory came from, was the idea that their voice sounds similar to me. We didn't get a good look at Caster, and under her hood, she looks kinda like Ryder. Or rather, without seeing under the hood, the base figure looks kinda like Ryder, and Caster said how, like, oh, she killed her master. And, we never technically saw Ryder die. We assume she died based on Saber's big Excalibur attack. We know Shinji died, though, so that's where the Ryder-Caster theory came from. So, yeah. Especially because Ryder's Blood Fort seems very much like a Caster thing to do anyway. But... I guess it makes no difference if they're found now or tomorrow. They're still breathing. That seems like a Ryder thing, right? Because Ryder and Shinji didn't fully kill all the people in the school. Although they're acting like this is someone doing this maliciously based on on intent against men, which sounds more like a caster thing in theory if she's going off her own and doing her own shit. Whereas Ryder is more, I think, following along with Shinji to an extent. Maybe not fully, but to an extent. I don't know.
用が済んだら手早く離れるわよ、アーチャー。
Let's get away from here after we're done, Archer. She opens the windows and treats those who are in especially bad condition. After that, she leaves the room. Okay?
服、クリーニングに出さないと。
And that's what you're focused on. Still focused on that perfect appearance even in a situation like this. Damn, I have to get my clothes to the dry cleaners. If the victims are exclusively men, that implies some stuff. It definitely implies some stuff. The fact that they're still alive, though, implies Ryder. So I don't know. Just because, you know, they were still alive with the Shinji incident. And I would think Castor would want to kill them, unless Castor wants to make them suffer. Or unless the idea is that Castor is leaving them alive so that she can brain control them and turn them into the Scullies that she uses later on? She sniffs her coat. She didn't touch it in particular, but her coat smells like rusted iron. The room was sealed. And the floor of that room was covered in blood that the people threw up. Yum! The presence behind her takes form. Oh, this looks like the same building that you were on top of the other day. Is it literally the same building, or are they just being lazy with reuse? I wouldn't mind. I can appreciate a lazy reuse to, if it's not that necessary. Money-saving tactics, yeah! What appears behind her, Tosaka Rin, is a knight in red. Why does he have to appear? Can't he just stay invisible? What's the purpose of appearing if he doesn't have to fight? It's Archer, who is protecting her in spirit form. Does he need to, like, get a stretch of fresh air or something?
それで、やはり流れは竜道寺か。
So are they all flowing toward the Rito Temple? Once again, this could be either Ryder or Castor. Or both. Just because, again, Shinji was like, hey, Shiro, go to the temple. There's a servant there. Maybe you could fight them. And then, in one bad ending, Ryder ends up sneaking up on us and, like, killing us, I think? Or we saw her. We died. I don't remember if she killed us in that ending. But Ryder was there. So Ryder or Shinji was at least aware of the temple, possibly taking advantage of it. So this could still theoretically be Ryder, even though that does suggest Castor.
そうね。奪われた世紀はみんな山に流れていってる。神都で起きてる昏睡事件はほぼ竜道寺にいるマスターの仕業よ。マスターがどれだけのやつか知らないけど、こんなのは人間の手に余る。可能だとしたらキャスターのサーバントだけでしょ。
All the life energy is flowing toward the mountain. The coma incidents in Shinto are all that master's doing, if the master's even still alive, assuming Castor is telling the truth, and that she killed him, her, him, maybe him, if she doesn't like men, him? I don't know what kind of a master it is, but such a thing is beyond human powers. If there's anyone capable of doing it, it'd be the servant Castor. Yeah, you'd think so, but then the frickin' school incident ended up being Ryder, and that seems like a very Castor-y thing, so there's definitely possible overlap.
竜道寺に救う魔女か。となると、昨夜は失態を演じたな。
A witch at the Rudo Temple, huh? Then I guess we made a mistake last night. Did you? What, you mean with the school? What are you talking about? You mean with the school and the blood fort? And the lancer? What are you talking about?
失態？バーサーカーと引き分けたこと？
Oh.
あれは最善だったと思うけど。
Mistake? You talking about how we got away from Berserker? I think that was the best possible outcome. Because Shio didn't die! I thought you were talking about... I assumed they were talking about the Blood Fort, but I guess not? I guess that all was in one night, one long night, yeah. The Lancer fight and the Berserker incident.
どうかな。キャスターがそれほど広範囲な網を張っているのなら、
Really?
昨夜の戦いも盗み見ていただろう。
If Castor has such a large network, I'm sure she saw her fight last night. Sure. I mean, just because she's taking energy from far away doesn't necessarily mean she's watching from far away. She probably is, but it doesn't have to mean it.
にもかかわらず、バーサーカーを倒せず、 セイバーさえ見逃し、こちらは手の内を晒してしまった。
We could
こ
not
れのどこが最善だ。
defeat Berserker. We let Saber go, and we gave away the scope of our power. Did you give away the scope of your full power, Archer? Don't kid with me, Archer. You got more in your sleeve. What part of that? This is good for us. Well, Shiro lived, and Saber lived, and that's good because Rin feels awkward about Shiro Saber. And Berserker is just way too strong to fight without prepping in advance for him. Maybe. Maybe that's Rin's logic. He speaks sarcastically. But Rin does not answer him because she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to talk about her and her Shiro love. It's not a mistake that she made Berserker retreat and helped Saber. It's definitely not a mistake that she helped Saber and Shiro, that's for sure. You're saying it's not a mistake that Berserker retreated? Why is that? You're trying to use Berserker for something? Most of all, Archer has not shown the full scope of his power yet. I mean, you act like you know more about the full scope of his power than he does. Archer seems like a dude who wants to use the minimum required amount of power. That's fair, but if he still got more power to show, then he was not being truthful. I can understand still wanting to hold back, but last night, it's true that the arrow Archer fired stopped Berserker, but Rin is yet to figure out its true identity, the identity of that powerful noble phantasm. Oh, so is Archer not talking? Like, Archer figured out who he is, but maybe he hasn't told the truth to Rin, hasn't said the truth about the servant he was? I assumed they had to talk about it off screen, but this furthers my theory that Archer is Shiro from the future past. Because there's a clear, usually if you're a servant, you tell your master your identity. Saber didn't do it with Shiro, probably because partially she felt awkward that she was a real person, and the fact that Shiro, she said, is an inexperienced master. A combination of a couple of those is probably why she didn't tell the truth. With Archer, though, if he knows the truth, which I think he seems to now that he can use his noble phantasm, he hasn't spilled the beans. Which implies that there's some secret he wants to keep with Rin, keep from Rin. Like he's Shiro from the future past, and that's awkward.
Rim.
Rin. No, she knows the principle behind it. That was just a bomb. He just exploded the bomb called the Noble Phantasm in front of his enemy. They must have had a talk about this off screen. Wait, you got your memory back? You have a Noble Phantasm? How do you use it? What is it? Who are you? What are you? It does not need to be said how extraordinary that was. That was a one-time explosion of magical energy using the strongest phantasm possible. Except he's got way more, because they're unlimited blade works, right? Broken Phantasm. That is the name of the oh, shit, wait, you know the name? That is the name of the noble phantasm the Knight in Red possesses. Okay.
Rim.
He keeps calling you, and you're just thinking to yourself way too much. Lost in your thoughts. It is too strange. A servant only wields one noble phantasm, and it is part of them that they had for their whole life. What hero can possibly destroy such a thing freely? Oh wait, okay, so you know, maybe Archer was like, oh, it's called the Broken Noble Phantasm, but didn't tell you anything more? Maybe he's lying to you and saying that he still doesn't know, but still somehow knows how to do that. But in reality, he knows more ever since seeing Saber. That would be my assumption.
Rim.
Third time's the charm, right? Rin, Earth to Rin, Rin! It's not easy to it's not easy to fix a destroyed noble phantasm. He's doing exactly what fucking Shiro does. I'm telling you. He's making a fucking sword noble phantasm from nothing. He shouldn't be able to do it, but he does it. Even freaking Shiro can do that, and he's not even a servant. Or is he? It's like committing suicide for a servant to destroy his noble phantasm.
Rim.
Okay, third time is not the charm. How many does it take? In other words, Archer abandoned his strongest weapon when he still had 6 more enemies he needed to defeat. Oh, that's fun. No, first of all, he destroyed the proof of his heroism under his own will. It's so crazy that other servants would faint from shock if they'd find out about this. But he can just make more. You guys clearly haven't had to talk about how his abilities work.
Rim.
It's 5. That makes 5.
何ごめん、聞いてなかった。
Shiro would usually pipe up if someone ever tried to talk to him. He would never get that lost in his own thoughts. To be fair, it's only recently Shiro started getting good at thinking much. Beyond, just being horny for Saber. Whereas Rin, she's been prepping for the war, and she's all about the thinkerin', especially thinking on the fly. So thinking a lot in the moment makes sense for someone who's good at thinking on the fly, and isn't the best at prepping in advance, actually. Oh, what? Sorry, I wasn't listening. Of course you weren't.
今夜はこれからどうすると聞いたのだ。先ほどの戦闘で疲れているだろうし、大事を取って戻らないかとな。
I asked you what we were going to do now. You must be tired from the previous battles. We should go back and rest. Dash, 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 dash. Rin clenches her fist at Archer's words. No rest for the weak. We will keep battling until we beat someone tonight. We sleep after one servant goes down. The previous battle. Bone golems that were swarming in the hallway. Oh, wait, fuck. Oh, okay. So that basically confirms Castor. Because we saw the Scullies when we fought Castor a little bit in Timeline 1. So this basically confirms it's Castor if there were some Scullies they had to fight. I asked you what we were going to do now. You must be tired from the previous battle. I mean, I'll admit, when I saw that, I'm just like, oh, she's still tired from yesterday. She hasn't slept at all. She pulled an all-nighter. That was where my mind went. But, okay, the previous battle, so they fought earlier today. She defeated them all by herself. Oh, Archer didn't even have to... I guess they aren't that strong, that's fair. In the other timeline, they were considered to be mostly just mooks, so it's not that hard to believe. Rin's decently competent. She did not need Archer's help, nor did she want it. No wonder they had such an awkward relationship with the star. He's Shiro from the future past, and they have an awkward relationship from the star, too. Most of all, she felt anger toward the enemy who was breaking the Magi's rule of not involving innocent people. Also, if this is just Castor, and she killed her master, then she's not bringing any Magi rules, because she's not even necessarily a master anymore. Rin killed the demigod Tosaka. He came back to life. It was a flesh wound, in essence. And she can only do that, like, once or twice. She has to save up jewels. That's not the same as being able to whip out some, noble phantasm, like, Excalibur's on the fly. They're more like guidelines than actual rules. That's why she destroyed them. She mercilessly eliminated every one of them. Oh, it's a pride thing. No, Archer, you can't get in the way. This is very opposed to my way of doing things, so I have to be the one to kill all of them. Pride! She did not show any sympathy, even if those bones could have been a living person just hours ago. Okay. That even furthers my suggestion that, whatchamacallit, that Castor kills people and then takes their corpses and turns them into the Scullies. So maybe these men that got all mangled are just going to be turned into more Scullies later on, and that's why they were left alive. Maybe like a signature needs to be placed on them and then time has to pass for them to become a Scully. That's good water. Dash, 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 dash. She did not suffer any wounds from the battle. Except one. One to her heart! It was so hard seeing all the corpses around her, and he's like... Well, it's not corpses, they're not dead, but you know what I mean. Since she fought while suppressing her nausea, she cut her lip from biting down on it. Ooh.
キャスターを追うわ。気配はまだ残っているんでしょ？竜道寺に逃げられる前に型をつける。
We're going after Castor. You can still feel her presence, right? We'll finish this off before she can run to the Ryudo Temple. Okay, my mind is now starting to race. So, in the first timeline, we only ever got Saber interludes. There were never any interludes for anyone else. I do not believe so. I'm stretching my memory. I don't think it happened. So, Rin is having an interlude. This obviously heavily suggests that Rin is the girl we're going to bang in this timeline, but also the further implication of this is that each timeline will have interludes for a specific character that we're going to bang, presumably. So if timeline 1 is Saber, timeline 2 is Rin, based on the number of Taiga dojos that heavily suggests the third timeline existence that is a thing that exists, which means in the third timeline, whoever this third female is, I'm assuming it's a female. I mean, I don't want to, be exclusive, but sure, it's a pretty horn dog for females. I would assume Sakura. I've talked about this before, but that suggests a lot to me. The idea that Sakura's going to have interludes. She could have interludes without ever fighting, in theory. But I guess, am I playing censored? I think so. I don't know the full version we're playing. I believe it's censored. Someone can... Wise, if this is censored or not, right? I think it counts as censored. It's okay, I can look up the, I can look up the naughtier pictures afterwards when the playthrough is done. Save them to the spank bank for later. Also, saving some stuff for the imagination is nice, if they show everything, then, if it's not up to your expectations, you're like, oh, that's it? Or if they don't show everything, you can think, everything's even better than I could have imagined. Anyways, as I was saying, Sakura. My prediction right now is that she would be timeline 3 waifu. Just because Ilya has the Taiga dojo, and based on some other things, I think it would make the most sense to me for it to be Sakura. I would definitely not mind at all if it was Ilya, but I'm doubting it. If it's Sakura, my mind is just wondering, is she going to fight in these interludes? Because we definitely have interludes based around fighting. And if they have a certain format, and they're going to keep up that format, my mind is thinking, does that mean Sakura can fight? We definitely have no proof of that yet. I'm assuming there's some plot twist related to her, but now this is suggesting that the plot twist will relate to somehow she can fight. Somehow. Would she have her own servant? Would she have her own servant? Because, the 2 servants left are Castor and Assassin. Castor's a big douchebag. It could be Assassin, but that just feels so... Assassin died off screen, maybe they're trying to hide it? I really doubt it, though. She doesn't seem to fit the bill for any master. So if she can fight, I feel like it comes down to her just secretly being a good, fighty, magi person. I don't know. I think she has to secretly be a good, fighty, magi person. Because I think she theoretically would have to fight if the interludes keep up the same format. Anyways, what have you guys been talking about? I'm playing censored. We had dragon sex. Yeah. What happened in the original scene? Yes, I think. I don't think he does. Let's ease off from this discussion. Maybe I don't know. The original scene. Did they have sex and I missed it and instead they only had dragon sex? I got ripped off. We're going after Castor. You can still feel her presence, right? We'll finish this off before she can run to the Ryudo Temple.
何驚いたな。できないと思ったことはやらないのが君の主義ではなかったか。
I'm surprised. I thought it was your principle not to do anything impossible.
そうよ。私、結果が分かりきっていることはできない。
Yeah, I don't do anything that I see as impossible. I'm gonna make the impossible possible, baby.
けどこれは別でしょ。今から追いかければ尻尾ぐらいはつかめるだろうし。
This is different, right? I'm sure we'll find some clue if we hurry, and most of all... She pissed me off. This is my zone, and she hurt some people.
喧嘩を売らなければ気が済まないか。
You have to start the fight, huh? Yep. You know that song, Ren didn't start the fire? Ren would have started the fire. I mean, she didn't, but she would have. But she's the aggressor, not the aggressed. She doesn't do great under well, no, you have to start the fight. Hold on, no. Well, she's good at, dealing with things on the fly, speed chess, which actually usually means she doesn't start the fight. So, maybe she's in more of an aggressive mindset. To be fair, Archer's around this time where he wasn't the other time. I'm not surprised that she can be more aggressive and adapt to what she runs into as she's aggressing. That's fair. Someone who wasn't a speed chesser would look into things more in advance without planning to fight right away. but as a speed chester, you would just, we're going to attack. If it doesn't work out, we can switch on the fly. That's very fair. All right.
やれやれ。倒しやすい相手を放っておいて、最も倒しがたい相手を追うとは。
You're letting the easy enemies run loose while going after the most difficult enemy? There's some logic there. If you kill the easy enemies, it's just a hard enemy versus you. I mean, do you have confidence that you can beat the hard enemy? If you leave the hard enemy alive and he's too much of a problem... I mean, if you leave the easy enemy alive and the hard enemy is too much of a problem, you can always team up with the easy enemy.
いいのよ、セイバーのことは放っておいて。あんなのはいつだって始末できるんだから、別に目の敵にする必要ないじゃない。
Hey now, we can let Saber be. We can finish them off at any time, so we don't have to worry about them. Ha ha hoo ha ha. Oh, Rin. I can tell your hormones are on fire. You're delaying it because you don't want to deal with it. Eventually, you're going to be forced to deal with it, and it's going to be icky and explode.
ちゃんとおとなしくしているんなら、無理に手を出すこともないわ。あいつが家に隠れている分には見逃してあげるだけよ。
If it's Caster, the less time she had, the better. That's true, because Caster, you know, builds a bunch of stuff over time. So if because of Archer not being gypped, Rin is more active and is aggressive with Caster, Caster might not have time to build the big thing she builded in the first timeline, which causes another change. I love it. I love how the changes, how you can see how they happen, and it causes a big butterfly effect. I love it. We don't have to go every way if they're not going to do anything. I'm going to let them go as long as they hide away in their house. I mean, yeah, Shiro's already went to school once. He was lucky you weren't there. Well, to be fair, it's a weekend day. But the first weekday, if Shiro goes to school, if he decides to just do his normal routine, he's gonna run into you. And then what's gonna happen? If you've just justified to yourself that as long as they hide in their house, I don't care. As long as they hide in their house, I don't care. And then you run into him outside of the house, are you gonna have a mental explosion? Or are you gonna come up with another excuse and seclude yourself further within yourself?
ほう。では、あのマスターが目の前にいれば、話は違うのかな。例えば、未だマスターとしての自覚もないまま、エミやシローの方から君の前に現れたとしたら。
So will it be a different story if that master's in front of you? For example, if Emi Shiro shows up in front of you without a care that he's a master. His words are meant to test her. Looking down at the night town. Thinking of this from this perspective that Archer is Shiro from the future past makes it kind of funny. I mean, it makes the whole game kind of funny, but it makes Archer giving Shiro advice in Timeline 1 kind of funny. I'll kill him. Ooh, the way she delivered, the way the actress did that. The way the line has dashes before it. Oh, you can sense the hesitation. And now Archer has forced her to confront what she would do in that situation without being pushed into that situation first and then being like, I didn't say I would fight him if it came down to it. Now she's been forced to answer that question, which... So when the situation comes up, she's probably just going to explode and attack him because she's been prepped mentally to do it. By Archer. Thanks, Archer!
そんなこともわからないやつにかける義理なんてない。
I have no kindness to give to someone who understands such a simple fact. So yeah, we're definitely going to have a fight. Tosaka Rin's as if convincing herself. 100% convincing herself, obviously. Thank you, narrator, for realizing what I already knew. Or rather, stating what I already knew. Interlude out. Two, 4. Unlimited Blade Works 5. Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde was a thing in the other one? Or is that just... No, yes. It's just the name of the day? Regardless? I don't know. The Dead Inside voice acting is great. This is a story from a winter 5 years ago. Winter 5 years ago. Oh, I think we might have gotten this story anyway. Is this when Kiritsugu dies? And he's like, you can be a superhero. Yes. We get the story anyways? How much repetitive shit are we gonna get? Maybe there'll be a difference. I mean, how much can you change the story? It's in the past, right? Unless our choices in the future influence the past. Morphogenic fields. It was a night with a beautiful moon. It wasn't doing anything, just watching the moon with Kiritsugu. Even though it was winter, the air wasn't cold. The corridor was a little chilly. To be fair, even though it's the same story, he could tell it differently. Possibly. Because of his different mindset, his inner dream about it could be different. It could focus on different part. Anyways, the corridor was a little chilly, but it was a good night to enjoy the moon. Back then, Kiritsugu didn't leave the house often. Not going outside, he would just laze around the house carelessly. I regret it even now, thinking back to it. Why didn't I notice that it was like the actions of an animal that knows its time of death? That's so weird to think of. It is so weird to think of, the idea that you could just recognize that, yep, I'm close. That's so weird to me. I don't know. Like, it's hard to... I guess, the idea that some people just know. But it's weird to just know. To me, it seems like the kind of thing that would hit you out of nowhere, unless you had a specific illness that was causing it, and there was a general timeline for it. But how it's hard for someone to know the feeling without experiencing the feeling. But once you've experienced the feeling, you generally get to experience it once. So I don't know.
子供の頃、僕は正義の味方に憧れてた。
I wanted to be a superhero when I was a child. Suddenly, that man himself, a superhero in my child's eyes, said that as if yearning for it. I'm sorry, Kiritsugu. You saved Shiro. That's superhero enough for me. I mean, he was still mentally fucked up, but you physically saved him so he could be emotionally saved later on.
なんだよそれ。憧れてたって諦めたのかよ。
What? What do you mean by wanted? Did you give up? I became angry and asked him. Kiritsugu laughed apologetically and looked up at the sky. It was a magical illness of kind of. I mean, that's debatable, right? Kirei said that he infected him with the magical cooties, and that's why he died an early death, I guess. But, like, I mean, I feel like that was made vague, and there's the possibility there that Kirei was just trolling Shiro. I don't know. And if that did happen, I don't know. I feel like we'll get some kind of flashback to it because that was so vague, but they didn't flash back to it at the time, which makes me think that either they're just going to leave it ambiguous to the idea that Kirei was maybe lying, or we don't know, but Shiro's first response is anger. Not surprising, because Shiro wants to be like Kiritsugu as a superhero, so the idea that Kiritsugu didn't succeed at becoming a superhero despite saving Shiro, yeah, there'd be some anger there. Kiritsugu laughed apologetically and looked up at the sky.
残念ながらね。ヒーローは期間限定で大人になると
Yes.
名乗るのが難しくなるんだ。
Unfortunately, being a hero is a time-limited thing, and it becomes hard to call
早くに
yourself
気が
that
つけばよかった。
when you grow up. I wish I'd found that out earlier. Yeah. When you become earlier, when you get older, you can only be like a cynical villain. Unless you make a wish on the Grail to turn yourself into a servant who lives forever and can be a hero forever, like Shiro, who becomes Archer in the future past because of his wish. I agreed with that. I didn't know why, but I thought it couldn't be wrong because Kiritsugu said so. It's a time-limited thing, and yet you take forever pussyfooting around about when and how you're gonna do it. Because you don't really want to be it.
そっか。それじゃしょうがないな。
Oh, and that's just admitting it too easily. I see. Then I guess it couldn't be helped. Yeah, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a Kiritsugu.
そうだね。本当にしようがない。
Yeah, it really couldn't be helped. Kiritsugu answers. So of course my response was determined.
しょうがないから俺が代わりになってやるよ。
Yeah, it can't be helped, so I'll take your place. Your words are saying that, but your actions, at least until maybe Timeline 2, suggest otherwise. With the mentality that Kiritsugu's already said it can't be helped, and Shiro agreed with that, maybe Shiro was just like, well, if I fail, it can't be helped too. Shiro was trying his best to comfort the dying man, saying it wasn't his fault. That's fair. I mean, he's obviously not thinking consciously much about... Well, you think about the things you say, I suppose. But you don't necessarily think about your emotional responses. So stuff like, he was angry.
じいさんは大人だからもう無理だけど、俺なら大丈夫だろ。任せろって。じいさんの夢は。
It's impossible because you're an old man. But it should be alright for me. Let me take on your dream. The text says adult, but the voice is very much referring to him as like an old man, Ji-san. Which is a little more respectful, arguably, because it's just saying, oh, you can't be a superhero when you're an adult. Usually it's hard to be a superhero when you're a kid. So, the old man voice acting, I think, sells the line a little bit better. I'll make it come true. Before I could finish, my father laughed. And with that, all his doubt vanished and he just died. Because it's like, you'll take on my dream. Cool, great. And then he just dies. He made a face like he didn't even need to hear the rest. He was so thankful. He was probably too, you know, past it to really think about the mental well-being of Shiro at the time. So he just accepted it at face value. And arguably it could become true by the end of the game. He could, you know, go from being an anti-hero at the start to being the real superhero power of teamwork by the end. After breathing in, Emiya Kiritsugu said, yeah, I'm relieved. He quietly closed his eyes and his life ended. That was 3 years ago, not 5. Now I remember. That is the story from a winter 3 years ago. I want to believe Kiritsugu lived 2 more years. Finally. It was a parting that determined the course of Emiya Shiro's life. It was the night that Emiya Shiro decided to become a superhero. Decided, in quotation marks. Superhero, in quotation marks. Become, in quotation... Night, in quotation marks? There's no way I can forget it. I never said it, but I clearly remember it. The figure of the man who saved the boy who was left to the fire. Emiya Kiritsugu held up the dying child and said, "Thank you." He said, "I'm thankful that I found you." He made a big smile and thanked someone, as if he was saved by rescuing someone. He very much was. The emotion I felt back then is still engraved in my mind. Nobody saved me. Excuse me? I couldn't save anybody. Excuse me? Everybody saved you. But you didn't think you were worthy of saving, right? In it all, I was saved and a person was there to save me. Nobody saved you. Oh, I see what you're mentally saying. The emotion I felt back then is still engraved in my mind. I couldn't save anybody. It wasn't about someone else saving you. You were trying to save other people. In theory? Or at least you're looking back thinking you should have saved other people. Really, though, you just ran away. And that was the whole point, is that everyone else had to save you and you didn't save anyone. So you didn't think you deserved to be saved? That's why I decided to become like him. To save yourself as well, right? Because you also feel tormented about all that. Maybe if you save someone, you'd feel just as good. Of course, I talked about this in Timeline 1 most likely. Something like this, I'm sure I said at the time. Become a superhero so I could save people and let no one be killed, just like him. That's not what he did, though. Several people did get killed. Just because you didn't. There was only a few that didn't. Even if it may be a childlike fantasy, I yearned to become one. Yearned. And thus, Kiritsugu, the embodiment of my dream, died peacefully, leaving me his dream of becoming a superhero himself. And then all that weight goes on your shoulders. So there's the combination of you don't think you deserve to have been saved, but you can't just let yourself die, because now Kiritsugu's entrusted you with this, all the people that died in the fire entrusted you with this, and so you're like torn. And that's what made Timeline 1 so icky. Very cynical take, but maybe the only reason young Shiro didn't kill himself was because he knew how happy he made Kiritsugu. I think that's a very possible point. While he was alive, he saw how happy Kiritsugu was just for Shiro being around, so Shiro couldn't take that from him. And then when Kiritsugu died, and Shiro was like, I'll take on your dream, and that was the reason Kiritsugu's theoretically died peacefully, Shiro couldn't just let him die after that. Or Shiro couldn't just let himself die after that because of that. So there was a big responsibility on him, even though he didn't want it. And that was what led to the whole, I have to die, but it has to be meaningful. Which made him a very interesting Death Seeker. It's only natural for a child to succeed his father. Amiya Shiro must become a superhero and save someone just like the old me, and then die. At least in Timeline 1. In Timeline 2, are you more healthy? Question mark. I swore so as a child. Yes, save someone so that the burden can be passed on and you can let yourself die. To fulfill the dream of the man I admired most. But to be honest, I'm still wondering. If my idea is the right one. Oh? Oh? Where my idea comes from. Where does it come from, Shiro? Where does it really? Self-recognition? What I can do even despite me just being an amateur? How to make the dream of making everybody happy, which Kiritsugu always talked about, come true? Oh, and? What I can do now that I'm a master. There are just so many things that my head's going to explode. What can you do now that you're a master, Shiro? Very great question. Did Timeline 1 Shiro never think this? Wouldn't be surprised. Timeline 1 Shiro didn't think much, except if it was about lusting for Saber. My idea is the right one. How can you make everyone happy? Do you have to be a superhero to make everyone happy? Dash. I wake up from that familiar dream. Are you questioning your direction, if it's even the correct one? For what you want your life to be? For what you think Kiritsugu would have wanted for you? Now you're maybe thinking, should I be shooting my arrow in a different direction? Bright morning sunlight is coming in from the window. I feel a bit chilly, but I guess it wasn't bad enough for me to catch cold. Jeez, I fell asleep here again. Alright, another morning with a beautiful threesome. And is this a school day? Right, because there's only one weekend day a week in Japan. That's right. They have a lot more holidays, but there's only one weekend day. So if yesterday was the weekend day, today should be another school day. So will he go to school? And will there be an awkward conversation with Rin? Fell asleep here again. Ayako talk. That's right, Ayako, best girl affecting him. Makes sense. They're going to hang out more because he owes Ayako a debt. Excited for that. I shake my head and change into my uniform. It's a bit before 6 o'clock. I bet Sakura's already up and preparing breakfast. Or is she, with Saber around? Does she feel too awkward? I go outside and breathe in the fresh air. It's a nice morning. Nice mornings are nice. I like nice mornings. It'd be much more comfortable if there weren't 3 girls in the house. I like 3 girls, thank you very much, but 3 girls and a cup? There's like a dirty video online about that, right? That feeling when maybe Shiro only goes to school because of the debt. Oh, yeah, that'd be funny. If he's smart enough to realize maybe staying home is right, but then he's like, oh, I owe Ayako a debt, I should go to school. That would be, not, karma's not the word, but it would at least mean that when he runs into Rin, it's, there's a little more responsibility there. Granted, I don't think, if Saber comes with Shiro to school, Shiro is thinking that, next time you see Rin, that is sketchy, maybe you should stay here. But if Saber's willing to come, if Shiro's willing to have Saber come with her, it makes it a little more tenable to maybe go to school. But there's a debate to be made to just stay home because of Rin. But you can't stay home forever, right? You have to be active. Shiro does want to win the war, as it were, so he has to do some investigating, in theory, right? It'd be much more comfortable if there weren't 3 girls in the house. Oh? Let me correct myself. There are only 2 girls in the house. What, Saber doesn't count as a girl? Excuse me? How dare you? I don't want to classify Fujine as a girl. Of course he wouldn't not classify Saber. I thought that would be a big deal. I thought it would be like, he's not classifying Saber, and the other timeline he made such a big deal about it, and this one he doesn't. No, it's Fuji. Okay. Anyway, now... Ooh! New choice! I go see how Saber's doing. I'll go and help Sakura. I'll go and wake Fujine up. Oh, shoot. A true girl route choice. Not really. Probably we're forced on Rin, so the girl we're on isn't going to be any of these. But still, a scene choice. Anyways, okay, so we're back and we have an important choice to make. The choice of all choices. One could say the most important choice in the entire game. Probably not, but you could say that if you felt like it. I wouldn't judge you. I'll go and see how Saber's doing. I'll go and help Sakura. I'll go and wake Fujine up. So we can go at this from 2 perspectives. We can go at this from the what do I think is strategically the best option, and we can go at this from which girl do I enjoy the most and want to bang the most. So if we go at this from the perspective of which girl do I like the most, it's probably Sakura. I like Fuji plenty too, and I don't dislike Saber. We've banged Saber plenty, and I think personality-wise I do like Sakura more. However, strategy-wise, we probably should just talk with Saber right away. Also, I sort of like their bromance that they're getting. And, you know, the faster we talk with Saber, the less awkward. What would Shiro do? Screw your what would Shiro do choice. I choose how I do. Especially in the timeline 1, I eventually succumb to the notion of, okay, Shiro's fucking dumb. I can't rely on him to do smart things based on the choices, so just pick what I think is the least likely to lead to his death. In this timeline, however, for now, Shiro seems a bit smarter, so I'm going to go back to, you know, what would I do? Because Shiro would potentially do all of them, right? Theoretically, he can, because you can choose any of them. As far as, okay, I'm between Saber and Sakura. Sakura because I like Sakura more, and Saber because I think that strategically makes more sense, and I kind of like their bromance. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I really am curious about Sakura. I want to probe that a little bit, to be honest, because I am theorizing right now she's timeline 3 waifu. So I want to probe that angle a little bit. Also, I maybe want to know what she thinks about, like, if she wants to talk about the Shinji situation at all. I might want to try to probe that if possible. Saber, I think Saber maybe is, if I was going full-on strategical, but I'm gonna go Sakura. We're gonna go and help Sakura. Final answer. I chose Sakura. I'm not doing all of them. Maybe in the future I'll come back and check out the other choices, but I like sticking with my choices. I'll go help Sakura out. She's making breakfast for 4 people. I bet it'll be more time-consuming, and I also want to hear what happened last night. Making breakfast for 4 people. That's right, it would be nice to, it'd be nice to, I mean, to be fair, we could just hear what happened last night when talking with Saber. However, if she is making breakfast for more people, it would be, you know, the polite thing to do would be to help out, given that Saber is our guest, in theory, so... In that case, we can just talk with Saber later. Talking with Saber ASAP is maybe better, but doing Sakura is more polite. And if we're nothing if not, you know, gentlemen, so we can be superhero in the small ways. It seems Saber went with my store, but there's a possibility they started disliking each other after a night together. I think they disliked each other beforehand, but could probably grow to be decent friends. There's that outfit again. It's the same outfit. Morning, senpai. I've already started preparing breakfast. I don't think I actually saved a picture of this before. Or if I did, I didn't make it as a specific save. I like this picture. I'm gonna make the Sakura save. Cool, now I have this picture to look at if I want to. I like it. It's a good picture. And I need to do this because I can't look at the goddamn graphics. It crashes my game. Everything else works, but when I try to load up the graphics, it crashes. So I need to save these as their own pictures.
朝の支度なら俺も手伝うから、ちょっと席開けてくれ。
Morning, Sakura. I'll help with breakfast, so can you give me some space? I go into the kitchen after putting my apron on. What does Shiro's apron look like? Is it pink as well? Ugh!
じゃあ焼き物をお願いしますね。さっきご飯は炊きましたから、私はお味噌汁とお惣菜をやっつけちゃいます。
Oh, then please do all the grilling stuff. The grilling stuff? How technical. Rice is already cooked, so I'll make the miso soup and the side dish. Alright. Are you having, like, the same... How much variety is there in your morning meals, I wonder? Because, you know, if you're always making soup and rice and stuff every morning, would that not get boring after a little while? Feels like we had the same thing last morning. Just gonna say, can't you change it up? You know, you're such a fancy cook. Can't you have more than one thing on the menu? Well, you have, like, multiple things you make each day. But, like, you know, can you make a different multiple things each day? Sakura efficiently keeps cooking like always. She doesn't seem to be worried about yesterday. She might be holding it in.
さくら、その昨日の話なんだが。
Sakura, about yesterday.
はい。昨日の話ってどの話でしょう、先輩。
Yes, what do you mean by yesterday? I mean the thing where you met Saber and then you got all defensive?
いや、だから昨日の話。さくらと藤音とセイバー3人で寝ただろ。さくら、セイバーが住むことを気にしてたみたいだからどうなのかなって。
Well, it's about yesterday night. You three slept together, right? You seemed worried about having Saber stay here, so I'm wondering how it was. More boring than Choco frosted sugar bombs every morning? Bombs? I don't know about bombs, but chocolate, you know, chocolate for breakfast sounds good by me.
どうなのかなじゃわかりませんよ、先輩。もっとはっきり言ってくれないと答えてあげません。
I don't understand when you just ask me how it was. Oh, the defensiveness comes back, the sass. I won't answer you unless you ask me clearly. Well, what do you think I'm trying to ask? Maybe this didn't come across well in English because his wording was blunt, because Shiro's always blunt. But I mean, wondering how it was. What specifically is Shiro wondering in this case? I mean, I think it's a very general question. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking a general question.
だから仲良くやってくれると嬉しいんだが。
Fair. It'll make me happy if you all got along.
ああ、セイバーさんと私が仲良くすると先輩は嬉しいんですか？
Oh, would it make you happy if I got along with Saber-san? Oh, is that... Oh, so I should be friends with the love rival to get in good with you. Okay. That is awkward, but I think it also should be obvious. I mean, to be honest. If I like both of you as people, and you want to like me, you know, as more than just people, you gotta get along with the love rival. You don't have a choice. If you just try to be grunchy and grouchy, I would probably go with the one who's not being grunchy and grouchy about it. Grunchy and grouchy? Grumpy and grouchy. I eat rice noodles with beef for first meal most of the time. If I want to be fancy. Most of the time if you're being fancy. Well, I mean, that's if you're being fancy, so not normal most of the time. Maybe let me watch you getting along next time. Yeah, you're talking my language when you start, man. I'd like to watch you get along, that's for sure. And then maybe, you know, if I'm lucky, you could get along with me too.
嬉しいっていうか助かる。セイバーの住み込みはサクラに無断で決めちまっただろ。だからサクラが怒るのは当然で、セイバーを嫌うのも仕方がないことだ。
That's a very polite way to word that. Good on you, Shiro. Probably used blunt language anyway, though. Well, it'd help me out. I decided on Saber's stay without your consent, right? So it's natural for you to be mad and to hate Saber. I mean, I don't know, hate Saber. Hate is, I think, a little hard for Sakura, but definitely be mad. Flustered.
けど、そのあたりを多めに見てくれて、セイバーに優しくしてもらえると。
Although, if Shiro's actually sharper about romance than he lets on, then maybe he could realize why Sakura would hate Saber. If you can let it pass and be kind to Saber,
セイバーさんにじゃなくて私に嬉しい。
You'll be happy for me? Yeah, exactly. Dash. It's embarrassing to say it, so I just nod. She's right. Oh, and she gets all blushy about it. But she's getting blushy because you'd be happy for her. That doesn't necessarily mean she will get along with Saber, but it's a push in the right direction. She's right. I'd be happy for Sakura if she'd forgive me for letting Saber stay. Doll, that's cute, Shiro. Since Sakura's like a family member to me, it'll relieve me if she can forgive my selfish decision. Family member? Like a sister? Or like a cousin? Or like a sister that you wanna? I've seen Game of Thrones.
そういうことならお答えしちゃいます。
I'll answer you in that case.
セーバーさんと私たちは昨夜の霊地をもって完全に和解しました。
We've made peace with Saber-san starting midnight last night. Midnight? What about from before midnight? How were things then? Was there fighting? Was there kerfuffling?
私はまだセーバーさんは苦手ですけど、それでも仲良くやっていけると思います。あの人、わかりづらいけど可愛い人ですから。
I mean, I would think of someone as Ilya as sort of the kawaii type. Not sure about Saber. I mean, I guess so. I guess there's potentially that from a certain perspective. I still find her a bit hard to deal with. I'm sure I can be friends with her. She's hard to understand, but she's cute. Hard to understand? Is she still feigning that she can't speak Japanese? Because, I mean, if she's hard to understand, does that mean she's just using sign language, or what's the deal? A bit hard to deal with. It would be hard to deal with her if she's still pretending to not speak Japanese at all. Even in non-romantic timelines, Shiro has a very strong platonic love with her. Cute. I mean, I don't know, I just don't think of... I think of Saber as more sexy than cute, you know? Like, I think you can be sexy and cute, but, like, you know, I think usually it goes to one or the other. I think of Saber as more hot than cute. I think Sakura blends the mix where I could see her as both. Rin is definitely a hot instead of a cute, but anyways. She's hard to understand, but she's cute. Sakura's smile comes from the bottom of her heart. Well, that's nice. Is she still pretending not to speak Japanese, though? Shiro and Sakura's in her... Oh, of course! Of course, Shiro is, Of course, Shiro has, like, you know, he's a horn dog. He has feelings for all of them to different extents until he, you know, became a cybersexual in Timeline 1, and possibly becomes a rinsexual in this one. That makes me really happy. It is, but...
可愛いってセイバーが
Oh, hey! He also disagrees. Nice. Saber's cute?
そうですよ。藤村先生なんてセーバーちゃんって呼んでますし、セーバーさんも慣れてくれたみたいです。
Oh, we don't see, Sakura blushing very much. Yep, Fujimura-sensei is calling her Saber-chan, and it seems Saber-san is getting used to it. Oh, you're still calling her Saber-san, though. Cheese and crackers. I mean, she's calling her Saber-chan, and you're saying Saber's getting used to it. Is Saber pretending to not speak Japanese, though? It's a very big wondering point for me, because, like, the ability to let you, like, Shiro just letting you guys converse would be so convenient. I mean, the harder you dig into this lie, the worse it's going to be if it later comes out, no, she can speak Japanese just fine.
本当は監視するための糖質だったんですけど、今夜も3人で寝ようってことになっちゃいました。
We were in the same room to keep watching her, but we'll be sleeping together tonight as well, just because we want to. Ellipses. That's an unexpected turn of events. Maybe I have to talk to Saber if I want to find out if Saber is actually speaking. But Saber's cute, huh? She's beautiful. I don't know about being cute. You see? You see? We're on the same wavelength, Shiro. She's beautiful, maybe hot, but I wouldn't call her cute. Sakura could be cute. Ilya's cute. Saber's not really cute. I think I would agree with that. You could say that was just Shiro's stupid idea, but they haven't given us confirmation that Saber didn't accept it. Because for Fortnite I can tell, Saber's like, didn't necessarily want to interact with them. So just started off just going like, sure, I can't speak. And, you know, I think Saber would have to become friends with them first before going like, alright, fine, fuck it, I'll speak. So I guess, oh, at this mealtime, well, this should confirm it. Everyone says itadakimasu, including Saber. Itadakimasu. This is the first time I've had breakfast in a group before, and it feels rather relaxing.
あれこ これ微妙に薄味だな。
Alright, we're
出汁
watching.
変えたのか、さくら。
And by watching, I mean listening. Listening intently for Saber speech. I need my sword to start talking to me. This is a bit thin. Did you change something, Sakura?
セーバーさん、お味噌汁に慣れてないと思って。
Yes, I thought Saber-san wouldn't be used to miso soup.
あんまりお味噌が濃いのもダメかなって。
So I didn't put too much miso in it. Oh, how nice. But maybe she wants to try something new. You don't know. Also, Saber was a really big fan of Shio's cooking. You know, oh, way more women, that's through her stomach, right? But I wonder if she'll be as big of a fan as Sakura's cooking, or if there's not as much yumminess there because the love isn't there. Or is it? This is the Rin timeline. Maybe we do get a little bit of a Sakura Saber.
そうですね。
She speaks. Okay.
昨夜の味付けより今朝の方が美味しいと思う。ですがさくら、私も和風の食事には慣れていますから。
It's nice to just have that
そう気を
cleared.
使わず自由に調理してください。
She's still speaking.
その
Cleared
方
up.
がお互いのためになる。
She's still speaking. You don't have to speak that much, Saber. Yes, I like this miso soup better than last night's. But please cook at your leisure since I am used to Japanese food. It'll be for our mutual benefit. She's used to Japanese food just because she's used to whatever's of this time and era, right?
そうなんですか？わあ、ちゃんとお箸持ててる。びっくりしました。セーバーさんって器用なんですね。
I assume Saber would have went along with that idea at first, and then once she, they started prodding her a bit, especially Fujimura, she eventually was like, fuck it, and started speaking. Even though she's usually a quiet person, she probably did want to, hang out with them a little bit once she was willing to let herself accept it. Once she realized it had to be done, as it were. And she probably wanted it to an extent. And once she wanted it, she just rejected the idea of not speaking, I would assume. Because she went along with it for a little bit anyway. Really? Wow, you're using chopsticks. I'm surprised you sure are multi-talented. Sure.
慣れていますから。
I am used to it. Because she was brought into this time being used to it. Then again, she had some time to be used to it in Fate Zero, arguably.
ですが、正直に言うと箸は疲れます。フォークやナイフより優れた道具だとは思うのですが。
To be honest, chopsticks are tiring. Are they? I do believe it is better than fork and spoon, though. I mean, but is it as good as fork and knife? Fork and knife is the normal thing where I'm from. I guess for soup and stuff, yeah, fork and spoon. Chopsticks, though, for soup? I guess you can just drink the stuff after you're done. To be fair, that's generally how I handle soup. I don't even use a spoon. I just use a fork. And once all the non-soupy stuff, once all the non-liquid is gone, I just drink it. This timeline Sakura is the one who somehow changes her dumb wish. That'd be great. That'd be, friendship change wish. I'd like it.
そうだね。セーバーちゃんはお箸よりナイフとフォークだよね。それ違う。かけるのはソースじゃなくて醤油。
Yeah, fork and spoon over chopsticks. Oh, you like fork and spoon better than chopsticks. Oh, that's not what you put on it. You have to put soy sauce on that. What? Never used a knife during a meal? Say what? That's ridiculous. Never once. What, your parents didn't ever be like, okay, you use a fork and knife, you use a knife to cut meat. Oh, don't get me wrong. I know how to bite meat. Sometimes I won't bother either. Like with a piece of meat, I'll just put my fork on it, put it, if it's small enough, I'll do that sometimes too. Like, I won't bother with the knife. I'll just be like, and then bite pieces off of it. I do that too sometimes. But, yeah, for a whole, steak or something, I don't pick up the whole thing with a fork. A knife is important in those cases. Okay, Tsupoima. If you say so. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do that if you want, but that seems very unusual to me. That's definitely very uncommon from what I understand. And I'm someone who uses my knife not as much as others I know. I actually do tend to not use it a lot. But with something big like a steak, just to pick up the whole thing on your fork is a little silly. And I don't know anyone who does it. Yeah, just use your hands then at that point, exactly. You have to put soy sauce on that.
なるほど。忠告感謝します。
I see. Thank you for your advice. You don't have to put soy sauce on that. Don't let Taiga put her ideas onto you, Saber. Do what you want.
よしよし。報酬として海苔を1枚いただきましょう。
No problem. I'll take a dried seaweed as a reward.
はい、白おかわり。
Give me a second, Shiro. They don't have to use the knife if they don't want to. You could just use knives, actually. There are some meals where I do the opposite. I don't use forks, I just use knives. Because I'm like, in some meals, the knife is just doing the exact same thing as the fork. No, sorry, the fork is doing the same thing a knife could do. So instead of using like a fork and a knife, I'll just double knife it. One of them will definitely be dull and not short, but I'll just pick the meat up maybe with the knife pointy end and put it in my mouth. Chat of weaklings can't handle a steak without chopping into tiny bits. Anyways, I think Taiga, I could see if Taiga was less for chopsticks and more for the fork route, I could see her doing just the fork and no knife for sure. She seems like a no knife kind of girl. Anyways, focusing on the game. Dried seaweed. Not a fan of seaweed. Have I ever tried seaweed, though? I just assume I'm not a fan because I'm not a fan of, like, lettuce and stuff. And spinach. Seaweed could be different. Don't know if I've had seaweed.
はい。食いすぎて二度寝するなよ。
Don't eat too much and fall asleep again. I think you can be half-ass. I sometimes enjoy a half-ass. Like, I don't want to be a caveman, but I don't want to be a snooty noble either. I think there's merit to being a noble caveman. Oh, seaweed's a good snack? I've never tried it. Don't eat too much and fall asleep again.
先生、今日の朝練に参加されるなら少し控えた方がいいと思いますけど。
Oh, she's gonna be practicing archery. Sensei, I think you should hold back if you're gonna be participating in the morning practice. Is she participating in the morning practice?
大丈夫大丈夫。これぐらい入れておかないとお昼まで持たないもの。そういうさくらちゃんだって朝練の後におにぎり食べてるじゃない。
This is fine. I have to eat a lot to make it until lunch. Yep, she's a big eater for sure. And you're not one to talk. Eating rice balls after the morning practice, that's different. She's eating after the morning practice, so I think it's not quite the same thing.
先生、知ってたんですか?
You know about that, Sensei? Oh shoot, Sakura's secretly a bit of a big eater too. Ho ho! Plot twist! She actually gets embarrassed. Nice. It's nice seeing Sakura more in this timeline too, because she wasn't around much timeline 1 after Rin booted her out. In fact, it wasn't around much. I mean, she was around in the epilogue, period.
むふり。端っこでこそこそやってるから気になって観察してたのよ。ダメよ。いい年頃の女の子が朝2食なんて。
Sakura needs foods for the archer muscles. No, Rin needs food for the archer muscles. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. For archer's muscles. I was watching you because you were in the corner acting suspiciously. You shouldn't, you know. A girl your age shouldn't eat 2 meals in the morning. Except Taiga's just having one big fat meal in the morning. I mean, having rice balls could just be a snack and doesn't necessarily need to be a meal.
悪魔はこっそりとある日テロリストのように体重計に舞い降りるんだから。
Oh my god.
私の読みではさくらちゃんの今の体重は
The devil comes down on your scale like a terrorist. According to my estimate, your weight right now is... How rude. Also, some people just have, you know, fast metabolisms. Is that how they put it? When you can eat a lot and not get fat?
ダメです先生。言ったらもうご飯作りに来ませんから。
Oh, that's a button for her. What? Because she knows she's a little chubby compared to some other females, and she's like, no, don't say it, so that Shiro isn't tainted by he can't know. No, please don't. I won't cook. Come cook anymore if you say it. Man, and checkmate, Taiga.
それに間食は時々だけです。いつもそんなことしてるわけじゃありません。
It makes sense that Sakura has gotten so much more talk-backative, whereas before she was more tame, with Taiga being around. I mean, you talk about Taiga as a bad guardian, and you're not fully wrong, but she's definitely helped to make Sakura more lively if she's been like this from the start, you know. Because Sakura'd be forced to adapt, because, you know, she can't just let Taiga take every inch. And there's some merit to that tactic, if it's intentional. Then again, that's kind of just how Taiga is, so... I only eat like that once in a while. It's not like I do it every day.
あれ、そうなのか？朝飯いつもイチゴ多く炊かれてたから、
Uh-oh.
てっきりさくらが握り飯でも作ってるんだろうなって思ってた
And
んだ
that's
け
the
ど。
worst thing. The one thing Sakura wanted was for Shiro to be the one to not know. To not notice. I thought you made rice balls every day since you always cook extra rice. Oh, I think that's a new face. I don't think we've ever seen her make that face. Yeah, because Shiro was the #1 person she didn't want to know, right? You knew, senpai? No! Yeah! I mean, of course Shiro didn't care, but Sakura cares about Shiro knowing. Now, it's possible she makes extra rice balls because she wants to maybe share them at some point with Shiro during lunchtime. But, yeah, if she's been doing it all this time, that's probably not where this plot thread's going. Like, making a lunch for Shiro is one thing, but, I mean, she probably does that sometimes anyways, but, like... So, no, this is probably just a snacking thing.
ダメダメさくらちゃん。シロね、そういう細かいことには妙に神経質なやつだから。きっと初めておやつを作った時から気づいてたわよ。
That won't do, Sakura-chan. Shira's pretty sharp on details. I bet you knew from the first time you made it. When it doesn't have to do with confronting hard truths, or even sometimes now when it does, he's definitely sharp tack in the shed. Tack in the shed? There's a tack in the shed now. Someone should clean that up later.
初めて？それって去年の夏のこと？
Oh, yep, Shiro's paying attention. First time? You mean during summer last year? You mean right from the start, basically? Because we were only hanging out for like only a year and a half, right? So summer last year, and it's winter. So maybe half a year? 9 months? I don't know exactly what your timing is on winter and summer. Probably about half a year then. She gets so embarrassed. I love these new looks for her, even though they just make her more embarrassed. Dash, dash.
さくら、空中に埃でもあるのですか？
Is there
そんな
dust?
ところで手を振って。
Is there dust in the air, Sakura? Why are you waving your hands in the air? Like you just don't care? That's great. That's great. Sakura, you're great. So easily flustered about it. And Saber isn't really paying much attention to it, I guess. Or if she is, she's ignoring it because she still would want to keep the lovey-doveys deep down. But also, she wouldn't have as much for Shiro in this timeline anyways. That hasn't really been triggered. Even though I think for, you know, people like Taiga and horn dogs like me, we definitely know what's up. Breakfast proceeds like that. The breakfast table is twice as loud as usual. Then suddenly, so having one more person makes it twice as loud. It's like amplifying the amount. Like 1, 2, 4, no. Yeah, 1, 2, 4, 8. Like maybe the volume level with one person is 1, with 2 people it's 2, with 3 people it's 4, and then with 4 people it's 8. That would double it.
今朝未明に発見された被害者は50名を超え、現在は最寄りの救急病院で治療を受けており、
That's what Ren was doing. Over 50 victims were found earlier this morning, and they are undergoing treatment at a nearby hospital. Unless my mind is playing tricks on me, I feel like that voice is the same voice that Ryder has? Or even Castor. I thought they had the same fucking voice, so it sounded similar. Every woman in this game has the same voice act. That's not true. But I wouldn't be surprised if a random reporter was just sharing a voice actress with one of them. I see some disturbing news on the TV.
シントでまたガス漏れ？うわー、今度は50人だって。
The newscaster! That's a knee slapper. I slapped my knee. A gas leak in Shinto again? Wow, it's 50 people this time. Okay, gas leaks in Shinto. So it was in Shinto, gas leaks. Gotcha. Yeah, we've been hearing about those gas leaks. Sakura was being paranoid. Right. Sakura was being paranoid about all those gas leaks. And there's something more to it. Right. Oh, I see. Oh, that's the cover story. I see. This is what it's for. Okay. I'm understanding now. So it's for Castor, theoretically. It's funny that if this is Castor's voice actor, which it sounds like Castor is reporting on Castor. 50 victims. So they're covering it up. Maybe they're not covering it up and they're just guessing what went wrong. The fact that I assume they have to be guessing because unless there's some big conspiracy and the Magi Association is covering it up, because otherwise the different places would realize that something weird is up. They wouldn't all give the same excuse. Oh. So there probably was something of a gas leak to coincide to cover it up to the masses, as it were, because, you know, you're not supposed to let innocents know about your magic. So there probably was a real gas leak, or at least signs of a gas leak, to make it seem like that's what it was for the Muggles. A gas leak in Shinto again? Wow, it's 50 people this time. Okay, so definitely seems like Caster's doing that in Schnaz. Probably. Could be Ryder. Probably Caster.
何被害者には昨夜から連絡が取れず、何人かの家族は不審に思い会社に連絡、警備員に確認させたところ、社内に残っている社員はいなかったとのこと。何これ?
Gas mage from the association going around covering things up? Maybe. I use gas magic. I can create gas and make it seem like there's been gas leaks. Let's see. Nobody could contact the victims since last night. So some of their families called the company. Oh, but the guard found nobody in there. Why is that? Now that's strange. Timeline 1 Shiro would have been like, yeah, that's strange, and ignored it. Timeline 2 Shiro, come on, be smarter. Be like, something's afoot. And maybe investigate. Possibly. Or at least have an assumption about it. Think, you know, you want to do something in this war. You want to make some kind of progress. That'd be a way to make progress, is to investigate that.
夕方からみんなビルの中で倒れてたのに、どうして警備員が気がつかないかな。職務怠慢とかそういうレベルの話じゃないよね。
Why didn't the guard notice when they were in there? Unconscious since last night? That's much more than neglecting your job. Ah. The guard found nobody in there. Yeah, that's extremely suspicious. Taiga's thinking something's up about it. Shiro, who knows about the servant master stuff, should also think something's up about it. Maybe Saber will too. When even Taiga notices it's fishy, yeah. Did this happen in the other timeline? I'm wondering. Like, I know there were gas leaks, but I don't know if this 50 people incident happened. It might have, and Shiro might have just ignored it. If it didn't happen, it happened only this time, then my assumption for why would be because Archer was still out and about. Maybe Caster saw the fight and went, oh shoot, maybe I should antagonize her a little by doing X. Or I need to build more power faster because Archer seems so strong. Possibly. If it didn't happen last time, which I don't remember. But Fujine must have lost her appetite as she stops eating her third bowl of rice. Although, if it happened last time, Rin would have been with us, and she would have seen it on the news. And she probably would have been like, oh, it's a freaking master doing some malarkey. And so, but she wouldn't have necessarily, or maybe she investigated herself after the fact, and that's what she was privately investigating? Doubtful? Maybe. Ellipses. Saber's watching the news with an intense expression. Yeah, Saber knows something's up. Taiga's assuming there's underground criminal. I mean, given that she's daughter of a Yakuza, yeah, she could probably assume there's some Yakuza nonsense. A rival Yakuza group has entered the fold. In that case, I'm not mistaken. Ah, yes, sure, I'll be in Smarticle, being like, that seems like a master malarkey, servant malarkey. I don't know the motive, but this is something that's done by a master. Yes, Shiro, yes! I can say it's fortunate that nobody died, just like all the other gas leak incidents.
もう物騒だな。
Man, it's getting really dangerous. But you got cut off in your head, Shiro. What were you going to say? It's fortunate nobody died, but it still keeps happening. People keep getting hurt. What does it mean? It's getting really dangerous.
シロ、しばらくシントでアルバイトするのは禁止だからね。貯金ならたくさんあるんだから、こんな時ぐらいゆっくりしなさい。
Smart choice. We didn't see Neko in the whole other timeline anyway, so... You can't work in Shinto for a while, Shiro. You have some money in reserve, so take a break during times like these, okay? I agree. Going out and doing stuff like that is dangerous unless you get Saber to come with you to investigate. But if you did that, you'd have to slip past Taiga to do it. Which you could, but you have to be careful. You should just say yes to that, I feel, because, you know, doing that is just too dangerous, and he would have some money in reserve. Unless he's, you know, a spendaholic, but he definitely doesn't strike me as one. Dash. I'm happy that she's worried about me, but I can't reply to her. Ah, because he wants to go and investigate, right? He wants to be active. Shiro and Rin are both more active when they're not working with each other. Although, in Rin's case, she actually has an archer who, who lets her be more active because her servant is okay. In Shiro's case, it's more just he wasn't active in the other one because he was, avoiding everything. Is the only reason Saber's allowed at school yesterday due to it being a weekend? I mean, if she's a transfer student, they could finagle a reason. It could be she was a transfer student and she was being shown around before officially transferring. Then again, they'd have to, forge some shit, so that might be hard to pull off, actually. But if Saber just comes to school and stays nearby, possibly. They'd have to come up for an excuse with why she's doing that. But I think there's definitely a possible excuse there. They just have to brainstorm a little bit. I know this is no time to be working, but I'm sure I won't be able to come home as often now that I'm in a war. He acknowledges that he's in a war. Nice. No time to be working. I'm sure I won't be able to come home as often. Then, if I'm ever late, I'll have to lie to them that I'm working. That is nice and smart. So you want to keep your work for that reason. Aw. Because otherwise, you have a curfew. So why else did you stay past the curfew? That is a good thinking ahead, Shiro. Good thinking ahead. I like it. So you just don't even respond? You don't even say, I'm going to keep working? Or are you going to do what you did in Timeline 1 the whole time and just play dumb the whole time? But this time, you're playing dumb to be smart. Yes, and not just playing dumb to be dumb. Exactly. You're going to pretend to Taiga that you didn't notice, and then you're going to work late, and then when she asks you, you're going to need a good excuse, though, because, if you do it just once, it's one thing, and say, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You can do that once, but doing that more than once is going to be hard, so you maybe need to start prepping your story right now. I never said no to your demand. Yeah, but again, you can only do that once, because then Taiga's like, well, now you need to say clearly, answer my demand, as it were. I go to the front door. Oh, he's heading to school. Fujin and Sakura already left for their morning practice. Saber is following me like she did yesterday. Good, she should. If you're going to school, she should be with you. I can't let her do so today. You have to. If you're going to school, she needs to come with you. Otherwise, it's too dangerous. Especially because Rin's running around, but even if she wasn't. The weekends are fine, but there's no way I can take her to school on a weekday. Saber, fight through it. Fight through it again and make him take you.
Saber, 言っとくけど、ここまでだぞ。
Saber, this is as far as you're going. Okay, Shiro, it's cute how you're acting more confident now. Stop it. Let her come.
学校に行っている間はここにいてくれ。セイバーと一緒に学校に行ったら騒ぎが大きくなるし。
He's giving a good excuse too.
マスターは人目につくのは避けるべきなんだろ?
Stay here while I go to school. You'll attract a lot of attention if you come to school. Master shouldn't stand out, right? Yeah, but also it's dangerous. She should come with you. You should come up with some cover story. Then she shouldn't necessarily go into the school, but she should stay outside the school, right outside, and prep for anything if it's needed. You should also give her a phone. Or do you need phones, or can you just mentally confer? I don't fucking know. Sheer logic skills are high enough to convince Saber in this timeline. No, but he shouldn't. He's using good logic, but I think he's wrong. And why is he wrong? Why are you being so wrong, Shiro? Stop being wrong. I think it still comes down to his hormones as well, maybe, because he's been thinking about Rin a lot. If he was being smart about Rin, he would realize he needs to take Saber as a bodyguard, because Rin will just fucking attack him. But I think it's more that because his hormones are weird right now, he still doesn't want Saber being seen with him at all times because weird hormones. I think that's the logic, because otherwise, I really think Saber should be coming with him, because it's freaking risky, and you could very easily make an excuse like, okay, don't go in the school, but stay nearby outside so we can, you can come at any time. He can justify his hormones a lot better. He's smarter about things, even when he's saying things that are wrong. I think, I understand Saber not being able to come into school if there's no forged documents for her as a transfer student. But it would have been nice to have time or the ability to do that. But if there's no time or ability, just have her come to the school, but not go in the school and stay close by enough to jump in at a moment's notice, at least. Dash. He's using good wording, I just don't want Saber to give in. She must not agree as she protests silently.
大丈夫だって。人気があるところでは襲われないんだから、学校は安全だ。それにさ、身を守るだけなら俺一人でもなんとかなる。
I'm saying it's alright. I won't be attacked where there are people. So the school's a safe place. In any case, I can manage protecting myself. I mean, against another master maybe, but against a servant? At this point, you just use a command spell then? What? You mean at the point where you have to bring him quickly to a school? Shiro already wasted one command spell. He doesn't want to have to waste another one. Like, it will take at least a few seconds to reach him in school. Sure, it will. But, like, if the threat is that immediate, sure. But, like, if the threat is only a little close by, if they have some mental link, and if not, get fucking phones, people. But if they have, like, a mental link, Saber should just know, okay, come if there's danger close by. Saber will know if there's danger. At least, you know, if it's any big danger like the Blood Fort from Timeline 1, or if there's a bunch of explosions or magical surges happening, Saber will know. And if it has to be immediate, sure, he can use it one, but he shouldn't have to, unless it's, like, really that immediate. If it's so immediate that he has to use a command spell, in most circumstances, he might not even get the chance to use a command spell if it wasn't for Avalon, but, because he's, you know, he can get super injured and not die, but... Anyways, that's what I think. I still think Saber should be coming with him and staying close by outside. There's no reason to waste a command spell if you don't have to. It's true a threat might not come up, but if a threat comes up, it'd be nice to not have to use one if you don't have to. Especially because he's already wasted one. Dash, dash, dash. He's saying he can protect himself. But I mean, even though that's arguably true, that's only with the sword birth, which he hasn't really realized in this timeline, so that's debatable. And even then, that makes him just kind of a glass cannon that actually kind of regenerates. But he doesn't know that either. Saber's brow twitches. She must have some argument about me being able to protect myself. Yes, there's definitely arguments.
一つ尋ねますが、それは白を一人で敵を倒せる
Let me ask you, does that mean you can beat the enemy by yourself? His logic is strong enough in this timeline for Saber to hesitate. I mean, sure, but, like, heck, I know that Shiro's got potentially sword birth and regeneration powers, and I still think Saber should come with him, even if he knew that. To be honest, it's just so dangerous. Servants are so strong.
まさか昼間なら一人でも危険を回避できるってことだ。
Of course not. I'm saying I can avoid danger by myself during daytime. Arguable.
人気のないところには近づかないし、日が落ちる前に帰ってくる。
I won't go to places with no people, and I'll come home before dark. I suppose Saber should still stay close by outside the school. Her staying here at home serves not much of a purpose beyond resting to replenish magic energy, but there's a debate to be made how important that is.
それならセイバーも納得がいくだろ。
Oh.
お前だって魔力を温存するために休んでなくちゃいけないんだから、無理してついてくることはない。
I guess there is a debate to be made. Fair point. You can let me do so, right? You have to rest to preserve your magical energy, so you don't have to follow me. Yeah, but like, because I've seen the first timeline, I know there's a way for them to have dragon sex and connect it or something. And if they connect it, then this problem just goes away anyways. So that's why, I don't know, in my mind, I'm kind of like, don't worry about that as much. I suppose they have no way of knowing that they will connect it. But in that case, if it's such a worry, think about ways to connect it maybe. If there's a way, I guess sure, it doesn't have any frame of reference to think of if there's a way. But if he's smart, he could at least ask Rin. But he knows Rin's on edge. But if he gets a good chance to ask Rin, but he might not get a good chance to ask Rin. Okay, this is a fair point. This is a fair point, because from their perspective, if you don't know the future, or if you don't know the alternate timeline, then theoretically, yes, you want Saber to rest as much as possible if you think you can be safe and avoid danger at school. But it's a big risk. As long as you acknowledge it's a big risk, I think there's validity to taking the risk. I will admit that much. You have to rest to preserve your magical energy, so you don't have to follow me.
わかりました。マスターがそう言うのなら、私は信じざるを得ませんね。
In Timeline 1, you were just a stoopy stoop who had no real smarts. But in this timeline, you have some smarts, I'll admit it. So if you're being truthful and actually able to act on your truth of staying out of, just being with multiple people and not coming home late, then maybe you can make it work. But you have to be careful even still. Especially with masters like Shinji around, he probably wouldn't give a shit about involving innocents, which again, you don't know, but you have to predict that there's going to be those douchebag masters or something. I have to believe you if you say so. She's seriously worried about me. Yes, you should be. I feel bad about turning her down. Then unturn her down.
悪い、セイバー。
I'm sorry, Saber. If you're really sorry, just don't turn her down. Because that's the thing. If you really thought it was important to have her rest, you would be thinking that in your inner monologue. But you're not. It's an excuse. That's not what this is about.
けど大丈夫だって。それにさ、俺の身に何かあったら、セイバーにも伝わるんだろ？
It's alright.
もしそうなったら、駆けつけてくれればいいじゃないか。
And you'll know if I'm in danger, right? You can come to me if that ever happens. Yes, but it takes too long. Because in the Shinji timeline, in the first timeline, not the Shinji timeline, the Saber timeline, but the one where we got messed up, we had to use a command spell just to summon her. If she was close by, she probably could have jumped out of nowhere and saved us anyways. So that could have been one command spell not wasted. We've already wasted one in this timeline. That's why this seems extra sketchy to me.
いいえ、そうはいかないでしょう。私とシロウのつながりは細い。マスターの危機が私に伝わるときは、シロウの命そのものが危うくなっているときだ。
No, our connection
そう
is
なって
weak.
から駆けつけても遅すぎる。
The only time I would sense your danger is when your life is in danger. It would be too late if I had it at such a time. Exactly. If she's at least close by, just outside the school, then she could, maybe do something about it.
じゃあ、俺の方からセイバーを呼べばいいのか？
And I should call for you myself? I mean, if you have to use a command spell, sure, but why would you put you in a position where you have to if such a thing happens? It's a big risk. It's a big risk.
はい。シロウが私を必要だと思えば、それはあなたのサーバントである私に伝わります。それでも間に合わないと判断したときは、レイジを使ってください。レイジのバックアップがあるのなら、空間を飛んで、
Okay, but
シロウの守りとなることができるでしょう。
you can do mental phone calls, though. That's still a thing you can do despite the fact that Saber's a weird servant and Shiro's a weird master. If you call me in your mind, it'll be transmitted to me, your servant. Please use the command spell if you believe that that will not be in time either. I shall be able to jump through space to aid you if you have its backup. They can mentally talk, that's nice, but, in that case, all the more reason, if Saber stays close by, she can come and help at any time without a command spell. She can rest if she stays home, that's really the main argument for it, I'll give them that. Still a big risk, though. Jump through space? That's pretty much like sorcery. Well, it's a command spell, after all. What do you expect? The right to absolute obedience. The command spell is that powerful? Yes, that's the benefit of the spell. Not wasting it on stuff like, don't kill Rin. Or Archer, in this case. Kind of. Don't attack. I forget what the exact spell use was, but it might have just been stop.
わかった。できるだけそんな事態にならないように立ち回る。日が落ちるまでには帰ってくるから、セイバーは留守を守っていてくれ。
This is gonna get messy. We've already had the interlude where Rin's like, if he comes out of his house, he's coming out of his house, he's going to school. Rin would go to school as well to keep up appearances. They're gonna meet. It's gonna get messy. Oh boy. I'll try my hardest not to end up in such a situation. I'll come home before dark, so please stay here. Yeah, he's using a logical argument, but it's definitely, I feel, an emotional motive. I wave her goodbye and open the door. Because he's not really at all, especially not in his mind, he's not amping up the importance of her preserving her energy. He just threw that in as like, here's another reason you should stay home, instead of really believing it. Because to me, that's the most important argument for why she would stay home. But he's using it just as like a backup for his main reason.
Hi. どうか気をつけてください。
That's true. Don't know where that quote comes from, but yeah, that sounds about right. Not rational, but rationalizing. Always rationalizing whatever they do, not necessarily doing the rational thing. That's fair. And sometimes, if you're really crazy, though, it comes hard. If you do crazy things, it becomes harder and harder to rationalize them, which is when sort of you sometimes have to confront how irrational you're being, but Please be careful, Shiro.
あなたの学校は異常です。行動には細心の注意を。特にリンには出会わないように。
Your school is abnormal. Please be on guard at all times, and please do not go near Rin. Okay, at least he has a clear warning from Saber.
学校で遠坂が仕掛けてくるっていうのか？まさか、それこそありえないだろう。
Are you saying Tosaka will attack me at school? That's impossible. She might. I mean, you know, maybe not if you are really in front of a bunch of people, but like, under the right circumstances, if you're alone, and with her mental state, she just might. She's a true magus. She's bound by the association's rule to avoid involving innocent people. And most of all, she wears the mask of an honor student. Sure, but she's also super horny and conflicted right now, and might throw rationalism to the side if it means dealing with her emotions. It would be very dumb for her to attack you, but she's in a very weird mental state where she could do very dumb things, yes. I think she'll greet me normally if I do see her. That might be true if she didn't have a big female boner for you.
そうだといいのですが、リンは人目を気にして判断を鈍らせるタイプではありません。
I would like to believe so. Rin's not the type to change her decision out of worry of how she appears to other people. Yeah, you know, if she didn't have the big boner, I'd probably agree that maybe she really was just being respectful to Shiro, but now they're enemies. But of course, innocent people, she wouldn't involve them. If that was true, I suppose there's a reason to suspect that maybe. But you know, even Shiro's thought there's some funny business with how Rin's been acting. And he's not thinking so far that maybe Rin just has a big boner for him. Maybe he still doesn't quite have enough self-worth that he thinks people can have boners for him. Like, even though he's becoming a little smarter and has a bit more self-worth understanding, he probably doesn't have so much that he understands the idea that, oh, someone can like me. I don't think he's quite at that point yet.
それに、白を敵視しているようですから、気をつけるに越したことはないでしょう。
It seems she feels hostility against you, so it'll do no harm to be on guard. You should definitely be on guard, Shiro. Please keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Please, please, please. Please don't do it dumb. Please don't do it dumb.
はいはい。取り越し苦労だとは思うけど、気をつける。
Fine, fine. I know it's needless worry. It's not, but I'll be careful. It's past 7 o'clock. So is this gonna be like... Is this gonna be a tragedy? That is to say, is this gonna be like an old school tragedy where we know the bad thing that's gonna happen in advance, and then it's just counting down to the inevitable bad thing? That is to say, his flaw in this case being that he believes Tosaka won't do anything bad, and then she does something bad? Or will this be more of, will it let Shiro still be smart? He has a clear plan in mind, and he's going to respect Tosaka might attack him, but then something comes up, and he accidentally is forced alone, and is then forced to deal with it. I'm wondering which approach they're going to take. I'd like to think they'll let Shiro be kind of smart and just force him into an awkward circumstance, but, you know, they could very easily just take it the tragedy route. Yes, the bomb is under the table, as they say. But does he accident into the bomb, or does he walk right into it? It's later than usual, but I should still make it on time without hurrying. I mean, you might want to hurry. I mean, it depends. Are there other people around walking to school and to and fro? You need to make sure people are around at all time, right? Are you going to take this fucking seriously, Shiro? It's 7:40. I go through the gate, and as I make my way to the school building... It's getting stronger. The blood fort thing. Majigger. Madooger. I feel something strange and stop. Uh-oh!
なんだ？別に何がおかしいってわけじゃないよな。
What is this? It's not like something strange, right? Something's definitely strange. It was strange yesterday too. Do you sense it more? Is your magical awareness increasing? Because of maybe last night and your connection with Archer? No, wait. That wasn't last night. That was 2 nights ago at this point. Never mind. Maybe it's just Shinji's exerting more power, or over time Shiro's just getting better despite any split-second thing. Maybe it's a gradual thing. It's not like someone's watching me or that something looks different. Or is it exactly like that? Maybe Archer's watching you. Archer might be watching the whole school. He very easily could do that. And you might notice it. You did last time. If anything, it's that it's not that lively. Oh. That's scary. If not many people are here, that's very scary. Because that was the whole thing, is that you need to make sure other people are around to keep up appearances. Feels like the students and even the trees and the buildings are dull in color. Has Shinji already activated his thingamajigger? That would be a really fast turnaround. Last time... Oh, fuck. Is it because of Sakura? Oh, no. Is that exactly what's happened? Last time he held off? Maybe, though, because of Sakura and because of her staying over and Shinji not accepting that, and that's how he takes out his stress. And with this one, he's like, what? No! And then Sakura came to school, and Shinji's like, where the fuck were you, Sakura? And wasn't satisfied with the answer, and so maybe he released the blood for it even earlier? Maybe, because he freaked out?
気のせいかな。いろいろあって過敏になってるのかもしれない。
I bet it's just me. I'm sure that I'm stressed out from all the events that have been happening. No, Shiro. No, Shiro. We're past this. You ignored hard truths in Timeline 1. We're past this. I close my eyes and rotate my shoulders. Oh, but? You did a but. That means you're accepting that it's more than that, right? The strange feeling doesn't disappear even after that. No, yes. Don't look away. Don't look away from the strangeness. Call Saber. What are you doing? I get up to the 3rd floor and head to my classroom. What are you doing? The instant you sense something weird. Your hormones are getting in the way, Shiro. You should have instantly called Saber mentally and been like, okay, get close by. This could be dangerous. Like, I understand why you'd want her to rest mostly if you think nothing's weird, but the second you're like, okay, that's not normal, you should mentally call Saber and be like, okay, be on standby, please. Don't rest right now. You didn't do that, though, because your hormones are interfering with your gosh dang mental state. Then, I run to Tosaka. Oh, fuck. Already? Already? Are we gonna fight right now, Ran? Is that how mentally fucked you are? You know something weird's going on, right? Something weird's definitely going on. You would have sensed it. You probably are trying to figure out what's going on. You know Shiro wouldn't do something like this. Are you gonna fight him right now when something else like this is going on? You probably are, right? Because you're that mentally fucked. Even though it would be a dumb idea, you're gonna be dumb right now, aren't you? You're gonna be dumb.
You.
Oh, no, Shiro, don't be that casual. No, that's the worst thing you can do. That's the worst thing you could do. Why, Shiro? You walked into the bomb. You walked into the bomb. I know her, so I greet her. And her response is what? An instant attack? There's probably going to be a little hesitation, because she has to reanalyze. Wait, what? Shiro, no, I like him. No, I'm fighting him. And then attack? Dash. But Tosaka freezes if she's seen a ghost. Yes, because she's analyzing the situation. Wait, I said I'd attack him. Wait, am I attacking him? Yes, I'm attacking him. She's about to attack. She's about to attack. That she's just processing what she was going to do in this situation, and then she's going to attack.
Tosaka? なんだよ。顔になんかついてるのか?
Tosaka, what? Is there something on my face? I wipe my cheek with my uniform. Dash. She's taking a long time to process. The longer she takes the process, the more likely she doesn't explode, and it's actually a dud bomb. I don't think so, but that is theoretically true. But Tosaka doesn't even reply. She's having a breakdown. She's having a meltdown for sure. She was trying his best to be casual, not escalate. The problem is he's being too casual. He's being way too casual. He should have been on guard the moment he saw her, but he wasn't. He didn't really take the threat seriously. He didn't really want to take the threat seriously. She looks away from me and goes back to her classroom. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I was right. She took a while, so she's not exploding yet. I mean, is there normal classes going on? Are people not... Is the blood fort not active? What's happening? Maybe she was willing to not explode because the blood fort thing is going on. Question marks? Don't you question marks me, Shiro. That was the obvious response. You're lucky she didn't full explode. What was that? Take the hint, Shiro. I don't think it's like her to ignore someone who greeted her. Dash, 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 dash. Oops. The strange feeling hits me again when I go into my classroom. But there's people out and about. Okay, so they're not all dead. Someone might have brought snacks in here as I smell a slight sweetness in the air.
別にいつも通りの教室だよな。
Classrooms like always. So there are people around then. There are people around? You sense something weird. Assuming your senses aren't just getting better, which that could be possible. Assuming your senses aren't getting better, it could be that Shinji did activate it early, but then Rin's not doing anything, maybe because it's not doing much. Maybe it's a slow sap. It could just be Shiro's senses are getting better, but that's weird timing if that's the case. Head to my seat while greeting the guys. You know, the guys. There are about 10 more minutes until homeroom starts. I look around the room and I notice a seat without a bag.
シンジのやつ欠席か。
Shinji's absent. Oh, fuck. They took a moment to point it out. That's big. Yeah, okay, Sakura not coming home definitely, probably messed him up mentally. Because I think he uses her as a crutch of sorts. And so the blood fort's already related to him, so maybe that's why the magic's weird. It's assumedly Rider's magic, but if there's some amount of Shinji in it too, that would be why it might be weird compared to normal. Even if it hasn't been activated, debatable. Come to think of it, he wasn't at the club yesterday either. That's a bit different, but he could have just been prepping stuff then. Then again, Shiro didn't go to school, right? That's right, in the first timeline, he just started skipping so he could train with Saber. He wasn't really going to school for the most part. That's right. So he wouldn't necessarily know if Shinji was skipping or not. That's fair. Yeah, Shiro started not going to school so he could train with Saber. Not going to school isn't the worst idea in the world. And even training isn't the worst idea in the world. But keeping up appearances means people won't maybe suspect that you're a master as soon as the Grail War started. So that's fair. But... the training is a little bit in vain, ultimately, but, I mean, something was gained from it. There's still something he could potentially train towards by skipping school, but there's arguments in both directions, and, again, there's the Ayako promise, so, Shinji is actually quite punctual, and he tries hard to follow the rules. Yeah, because he wants people to praise him, and if he doesn't follow the rules, he doesn't want people to, get, upset at him. He wants people... He's willing to follow the rules if if he thinks people will praise him for it, I would say. It worries me a bit that a guy like him has been absent for 2 days. It's lunchtime. Don't give any favors to Issei about staying late or anything. Don't bother, Shiro. Don't do it. I usually go to the student council room where I make my own lunch. Especially guys. Yeah, those random guys will take my food and the girls will make fun of me if I eat the classroom. The guys will take your food? What, because it's so good? They're like, yeah, Shiro, thanks for the food, man. Just take it. Rude. The girls will make fun of me. I guess you just have hormones and you feel awkward about girls in general. Cooties. Ew, gross.
なんだ伊勢、お前昼は食べないのか?
What's wrong, Issei? You're not eating lunch? Oh shit, maybe it is slightly active, and that's why he's gonna be like, oh, Issei, you feel a little under the weather? Gato couldn't take in the food. Fucking Gato.
ああ、先ほど済ませた。今はともかく眠くてな。昼休みが終わる前に起こしてくれ。
Yeah, I think Shinji sprung this early. Maybe because of the Sakura thing. Maybe because of Rin. Maybe because Rin and Shiro are acting differently. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe both. Shinji, I think, sprung this early. It's just because it's so early, it's not, like, causing them to all go all bleh. It's just causing them to be kind of asleep. It's draining a very small amount of energy from them. I just finished eating. I'm just really sleepy right now. Wake me up when lunch is over. It could be, if Shinji is doing it this early, he's getting impatient. Maybe he wants to take his anger out and just, maybe he knows that Shiro is a master possibly. Maybe he's already sussed that out and he just wants to attack him as soon as possible. So he's sapping very small amounts of energy to power up Rider so that he can patiently just attack Shiro, because maybe he knows that Sakura was staying over with Shiro and that just eats him up inside and he hates it, possibly. Issei then puts his head on the table.
なんだ、徹夜でもしたのか？お山じゃ、11時には絶対就寝じゃなかったっけ？
Did you stay up all night or something? I thought you had to go to bed at 11 at the temple.
うん。そうなのだが、最近寝つきが良くない。いくら眠っても疲れが取れなくてな。おかげでここ数日は暇さえあれば眠っている。
Oh, lately. Has this been going on for a while then? Yes, but I'm having difficulty sleeping lately. My fatigue won't go away no matter how much I sleep. So for the past few days, I've been sleeping whenever I get the chance. Oh, constant fatigue for the past few days. Wait, the past few days, does that mean the Blood Fort has been doing this a little bit and it's been getting stronger and stronger over time? Because, okay, I thought this was something Shinji just did today because of Sakura not coming home. That was my assumption. And maybe there was a small thing and it just got stronger today. It depends. Is Issei going to point out that it got stronger today or no?
なんだそりゃ。暇さえあれば眠ってるんなら眠気なんてないだろう。
What is that? You shouldn't be sleepy if you're sleeping every time chance you get. You say that, Shiro, but 5 hours sleep usually isn't enough. And that's how much you're like, I go to sleep at 11 and wake up at 5:30. That's not that weird. Well, that's actually 6.5 hours. Even that's a little low, though.
ああ、そうなのだがな。いくら眠っても疲れが取れないゆえ、疲れを取るために眠らざるを得ないのだ。
That's true, but sleep won't let me rest, so I have to sleep to rest. Yes, you do have to sleep to rest. I feel like there's a wording issue there because sleep won't let me rest, so I have to sleep to rest. You do have to sleep to rest. You could just say sleep won't let me rest and finish it with that, because of course you need sleep to rest.
矛盾していると分かってはいるのだが。
Oh.
眠いものは仕方がない。
Okay, fair. You're contradicting yourself and you realize it. I know I'm contradicting myself, but I can't help feeling sleepy. Alright. Okay. Alright. Okay. Maybe it has gotten stronger. Maybe there was a little bit before, but now it's getting stronger today. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe. Shinji sleep attack? I know I'm contradicting myself, but I can't help but feeling sleepy.
春にはまだ早いんだけどな、一世。
Man, it's too early to be spring, you know? Spring? Is there a joke in there somewhere? It's too early to... What, because in spring, it's their vacation month, so they can sleep in? Or, I don't know.
春眠暁を覚えずか。誠に耳が痛い。
For a second, I thought Shiro's voice actor... Do they have the same voice actor? I don't think so. But for a second, when Issei just talked all sleepily, like... I thought that was Shiro imitating Issei, or like, in spring one sleeps asleep, like, trying to make fun of him, but... Okay. In spring one sleeps asleep like knows no dawn, huh? You certainly got me there. Issei doesn't even try to get up. This timeline Shiro seems to be a lot more jokey. Maybe he's taking Ayako words into consideration. Oh, to be more happy and laugh. I suppose that was a joke, but it wasn't as jokey as I thought it was. I guess it can't be helped. It looks serious, so I'll stay here until lunch is over. Uh-oh. Dashes.
あれ、ああ、エイセ、誰か来たぞ。
Arere? Is it your uncle father who maybe is related, maybe? Someone's here, Issei.
知らん。生徒会は店じまいだと言ってやれ。
I don't care. Tell them the student council isn't open today. Who is it? Is it Ayako? Because, like, if it's Rin, just stay with Issei and we'll be good. If it's, I doubt it's Kazuki, given that, you know, Issei's making a response like that. Ayako?
いや、そう言ってもいいんだが、やってきたのはくずき先生っぽいぞ。
Never mind, it is Kazuki, so never mind what I was saying. I can say so if you want, but I think it's Kazuki sensei.
それはまずい。
That's bad. Issei gets up slowly and opens the door.
竜道、今朝の弓道部の件だが。
Oh, I think that's a new look for Kazuki. We don't see him much, so. Ryudo, it's about the archery club this morning. The archery club? I want to give him that voice now. It's about the archery club this morning. The archery club this morning? What happened with the archery club this morning? Did Shinji get in a big fit because he's Shinji and he's stupid? Kazuki sensei stops his words after seeing that I'm here. Oh, they need a private talk, huh? Okay, here's a stupid idea. Are they the masters of Assassin Caster and they're working together? No, they wouldn't talk about their plans here in school. But, I mean, what is their relation? Because, you know, Issei's like, send them away. Wait, it's Kazuki. There seems to be a relation. Is they actually, you know, is there actually a relative relation type thing? I don't know. Kazuki Soichiro is the homeroom teacher of Class 2A and also in charge of the student council. He's a very strict teacher and quite blunt.
それじゃあ、うちにも帰ってないんですか?
She didn't even go home? Who? What? Who?
そのようだ。おそらく刑事事件になるだろう。分かっているだろうが、むやみに話すことは避けるように。
Oh, fuck. Correct. We will probably call the police. I believe you know, but do not spread this rumor. Probably call the police? She didn't even go home? He didn't even go home? She didn't even go home. Who is she? Rin? No. Sakura? Did Shinji fucking beat Sakura or something bad like that and she didn't go home? Call the police? Because of that? Or Shinji beat some girl, maybe not Sakura, and he... Yeah. In either case, if the police needs to get involved, that sounds bad. Sounds like a Shinji if it's the archery club.
それは分かっています。ですが、そうなるとマトはどうしたんですか?
Okay.
あいつが昨日会っていたと弓道部の一年が言っていたじゃないですか。
Male motto. It's male motto. Given that he's not saying the mottos, I guess it's not necessarily Sakura, just any random girl then. I know, then how about Mato? The student in the archer club said he saw her and Mato together. So Shinji took his anger out on someone because of the Sakura thing?
それに関しても同じだ。マト真司も無断欠席しており、家も留守だそうだ。妹であるマトさくらは藤村先生の家に泊まっていたというし、事情は知らされていない。
It's the same for him as well. Mato Shinji is absent today and his house is empty. His Sakura, Mato's sister, was staying over at Fujimura Sensei's house last night. That's not quite true, but sure. So she does not know anything. Yeah, Shinji maybe not even this morning, but yesterday night Shinji went a little crazy. Absent today. Hold on, what's going on? She didn't even go home. That implies something happened to her at school. But then you're saying absent today. Wait, what do you mean didn't go home? Absent. I thought you were saying something happened at school and they didn't even go home. Do you mean they're not at school either? Like something bad happened and they didn't go home or come to school is what you're saying. And now Shinji also is not at home or at school because he did some bad thing? Sakura was staying with Fujimura's. Right. Maybe it was a bad idea for Sakura to stay over. I mean, I saw this freaking comment. I knew Shinji would... I mean, I assumed Shinji would flip his shit in some way. But, Issei and Kazuki are talking about disturbing stuff. Summing up what they said, it seems that the student's been missing since last night, and Shinji's the last one to talk to that student. Probably, this is probably on Shinji. Student. A student is missing. Wait. No, wait. She. Are we gonna ask, is it just it can't be a rando student. Issei knows her well enough to not refer to her as just a she, right? Although, did he ever refer to her as she, or is it just Kazuki calling her she? Is it not Ayako? Please say it's not Ayako. I like Ayako. It can't be Sakura, otherwise they wouldn't be like the Mato boy and the girl. It'd just be the Mato, and he's already talked about Sakura, but, hold on. She didn't even go home. I mean, I guess Issei called her a she, but it could have been after the fact, like, oh, Ayako, huh? Then she didn't even go home? It could be Ayako. Hopefully it's not Ayako. It can't be Gato-kun. Gato's a boy. This is about a she. Summing up what they said, it seems that a student's been missing since last night, and Shinji's the last one to talk to that student. Oh no, it would make sense if it's Ayako, because they're both in the archery club. Oh, and that would be a fun plot twist. Otherwise, it's some rando, and why would we even give a shit? Oh, it's probably Ayako. Oh no! Shinji, did you please don't say you did anything to Ayako?
邪魔をしたな。そういった事情もある。また下校時間が早まるだろう。
Oh, fuck. Sorry to interrupt. I am sure the school's curfew will be set an earlier time now. Even earlier, huh? So who is it? Who's this girl? It's not going to be some random girl, is it? I guess it could be a random girl, but if it was a random person, then why would they drop it as a girl? In fact, the fact that it's a girl is odd. It's odd because if Shinji messed up a girl, that's weird because normally he's sweet on girls. So it would make sense if he messed up a girl, it would be a girl that backtalks him, like Ayako possibly. Are you assuming Gato's gender? No, I think we just know it. Because Gato, from memory, oh, it could be one of the three girls from the prologue. They are somebody girls, that's fair. But, like, are they important enough for it to matter? It's possible it could be one of the girls. It just, I guess some of them are aggressive enough that they could have taken an aggressive stance with Shinji. Aiko seems like the most fitting, but it could be one of them. It could just be one of them. Gato-kun is a somebody from, like, Taiga's class, if memory serves. I believe it's not only boy's voice, but if they're being called a kun, it should be a boy. I mean, you'd be making fun of them by calling them a kun if they're not a boy. So... Earlier time now. Quickly stating his business, Kazuki leaves the student council room.
まったく。なあ、エミヤ。お前、シンジを見なかったか？
Jeez, have you seen Shinji, Emiya? No, I've seen Shiro, Emiya. I don't know if I've seen Shinji, Emiya.
いや、見てない。今朝は弓道場にも行かなかったし、あいつが休んでることはお前も知ってるだろ？
No, I didn't go to the archery club this morning. You should know as well that he's absent, right?
そうか。それならいいんだが。
I see, I hope that's the case. Ooh. Issei's face clouds up. Who's the girl? You would have just said, you wouldn't have went out of your way to say a gender, I don't think, if it was no one important. I think you wouldn't have went out of your way to say a gender. Jeez. It's not something I should rudely butt in on, but it seems this concerns the archery club. I guess to be fair, Shiro doesn't necessarily know that Shinji is part of the Grail War, but he does know there's a relation to Sakura and that things can get iffy, so I feel like you should pry. I'm sorry for Issei, but I should get some information out of him. Yes, not ignoring the hard truth, yes!
日生、昨日から家に帰ってないとか言ってたけど、それって誰なんだ？いや、シンジのやつも捕まらないってのは分かったけど。
Issei, who is this person that hasn't been home? Well, I already know Shinji hasn't been home.
ん？そうだな。エミヤも部外者というわけではないし、知っておいてもいいだろう。
Hmm? Well, you're no outsider, so I guess you can know.
昨日の夜の話だ。
It all happened last night. Oh, fuck. What happened? What was the diddly dawn dance?
弓道部の練習に出た娘が帰ってこないという連絡があったな。至急練習に参加した生徒たちに話を聞いたところ、行方不明になった生徒と最後に話していたのはシンジだと分かったのだ。
You're being incredibly casual if this ends up being Ayako. I don't know how well you know Ayako. Maybe you don't know her very well. I guess I don't know if we've seen Issei and Ayako interact much. I just assume they kind of know each other, but maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe they say it's from the archery club, so I don't think it's one of the randos that Rin knew. I don't think they went to the archery club. We got a contact from a family member saying their daughter had yet to come home from the archery club. When we contacted the students who actually went to the club, we found out it was Shinji that last talked to this student. Maybe Ayako set Shinji off? And in combination with Sakura not coming home, he did something drastic? Dash dash dash. Talk to Shinji.
ちょっと待った。シンジは昨日の練習にはいなかったぞ。
Hold on, Shinji wasn't at the practice yesterday. He might have come later.
それに、弓道部のみんなとはちゃんと校門で別れたんだが。
And I party with everyone at the school gate.
ああ、エミヤもいたらしいな。話はその後だ。忘れ物をした1年生が戻った時、シンジが道場の前にいたらしい。その時にな、シンジとそいつが口喧嘩をしてたそうなんだ。
If it's Ayako, maybe Issei is trying to lighten the blow on Shiro. What, by not mentioning it yet? That'll arguably make it worse when, I don't know. It's just he's being so casual when Shiro knows Ayako. I don't know if Issei knows how well Shiro knows her, but I feel like the longer you beat around the bush, arguably the worse it gets. But it seems you were there as well, but this is after that. When a student returned to school to get something he forgot, he saw Shinji in front of the archery range. It seems the missing student and Shinji were having a quarrel. In front of the archery range, but after archery was over, sounds like a club president, like Ayako. So, is this Ayako? Shinji, did you mess her up somehow? Dash dash. The shoe fits right now. I have a bad feeling about this. I do as well. Please no, Ayako, no. It's just, it fits, but please no. There's only one student that could have been there. Oh, yep, Shiro knows. Shiro knows. Did Shinji already blow up? Maybe because Shiro came to the club and Shinji's like, you can't let that hussy in here. It's my fucking club now. I don't know.
いいっせ。肝心な話をぼかすな。それで、昨日から行方不明になってる生徒ってのは誰なんだ？
Don't leave out the important detail, Issei. Who is this student that's been missing? Imagine if Shiro rekindled his connection with Ayako yesterday and something terrible happens. I mean, yeah, because of the whole Shinji thing and leaving the archery club thing, yeah, they maybe have been, not that close for a while. So the fact that she's indebted to him, or he's indebted to her now, are like not in a very big way, but still. And yeah, that definitely possibly re-sparked their connection to an extent. Ugh, don't even joke about that. Worst case scenario, she's dead. No, I want more Ayako in this pathway. Arguably, there's already been more, but no, I want more and more. Just because I like Ayako doesn't mean they can use that as a crutch to kill her off to make us feel bad yet. She hasn't been around that much enough, right? We need to get to know each other more, then they hit you in the gut. This is too early for that, right? Right? Who is this student that's been missing? Fuck. Okay. Mitsuzuri Ayako, the captain of the archery club. Ah, tits! She didn't go missing last time, though, right? She got, like, attacked by, by someone at some point at night, right? And then that was the last we heard of her. But she didn't go missing. She just got attacked by some who's-a-what's-it. This time, I'm assuming, in a combination with Shiro coming to the club and Shinji not liking that, and then Sakura maybe going missing, Shinji maybe decided to turn Ayako into his little plaything to replace Sakura to get back at Shiro. I could see that. I could definitely see Shinji doing that. I would be pretty upset, because I like Ayako, but it would be like a good kind of upset. I would like, yes, that narrative pulls at my strings a little.
彼女は道場の鍵を職員室に戻した後、弓道場前で見かけられてから一向に行方が知れない。
We do not know where she went. We do not know where she went after returning the archery range keys, and after someone saw her in front of the archery range. Don't know where she went after returning the keys. So she's missing. Shinji probably has her locked up somewhere and is using her as a replacement Sakura for the time being to take her stress out. Possibly specifically to get back at Shiro. Very likely is this is very targeted at Shiro. Issei averts his gaze. Classes end. Okay, time to go home. I know you're feeling fucked up about the whole Ayako thing, but you can't let the Rin thing happen. I don't know if that incident is the reason, but all clubs are canceled for today. It seems the library is closed as well, so the students are going home in a hurry. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Gets me thinking. So there is, an anime called Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, but then there's also the older anime called Fate Stay Night. If the assumption there is that the old anime is largely just covering the first timeline, and then the Unlimited Blade Works anime, because there's also the Unlimited Blade Works movie, so then the assumption there was that movie covered it very quickly, but then maybe the Unlimited Blade Works anime covered it in a longer form. If that happened, then that makes me, think about how if you're someone who just goes from Fate Zero to the new Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works anime, then you'd probably get certain twists that shouldn't be twists, or they'd happen at the wrong time. Like, for example, assuming you have to go through the first timeline first and all that, then in this timeline, for example, Shinji and Aiko being missing right now, if you were somehow to theoretically see this without knowing timeline 1, you wouldn't necessarily know Shinji's a master. But here, we already have to know if we've seen timeline 1, so... So, it's things to think about other orders of theorization if you saw things in the wrong order, and how much that might mess you up if you were to then reorderize. I mean, I say that, but I started with Fate Zero, so I've already kind of messed me up a little bit anyway. Active argument in the fandom. Original Fate Stay Night anime is mostly the Fate route, but a bunch of shit from other routes. Yeah, makes sense. If they were going to do it a one and done thing, they would want to fill in as much as possible. But you'd never let anyone watch Zero first. Oops, I did it. I don't think I would have gotten into the Fate Stay Night novel if I hadn't watched Zero, though, because I really like Zero. But I can understand why you'd want someone to watch Stay Night first, because I know Zero is a prequel. But I've went over this before, that because I watched Zero first, I didn't know where it was going necessarily. Because if I had done Stay Night first, for example, there's a lot of stuff about Zero that you just know already if you go into Zero. And I guess it works the same way both ways, and arguably you're intended to watch Stay Night first, or play Stay Night first, because Zero is the prequel. But in some ways it works both ways, and I enjoy that I didn't know where Zero was going. The experience would have been very different if I did. Whereas, on the other hand, Stay Night, there's a lot that I don't know where it's going. Some stuff I already know in advance. But Zero, I feel most everything important you will just already know going in if you've experienced Stay Night. I don't think Zero is a good anime, even spoilers aside. Well, I guess we're going to have to fight, because I got into this series because of Zero. I really, really enjoyed Zero. If I didn't, we wouldn't be here right now. So the students are going home in a hurry. There's an announcement that all students are to go home unless they have some special business. Yeah, it's just something to think about. Like, what's all the different things that, like, Archer not, the command spell early use. This is the big one, I'd say. The fact that this would be a big potential foreshadowing that Shinji is a master, if theoretically you didn't know already. I can enjoy edginess. Yeah, and I enjoyed freaking Kiritsugu's guns. He's got fun, edgy guns. I like Kiritsugu. He's a very great character. I enjoy him a lot. I enjoy his arc. Well, we're not going to have that fight right here. I really like Fate Zero. Anyways, that's part of why I didn't like, I was iffy about Stay Night when I was first starting, and I'm like, where is the strategical fighting that I liked from Zero? Anyways, There's an announcement that all students are to go home unless they have some special business. Another one left in room 2C. That's bad. I bet it's like this in other rooms, so I should hurry, or there'll be nobody left in the school building. Dash, 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 dash. I should go talk to some people before that. I can't go straight home after I found out Mitsuzuri's been missing. Oh, no. I mean, I get it. You care about Mitsuzuri, and you should. I care, too. But, like, you gotta be careful of the bomb. She's firm, and she's stronger than most guys. It's not a trivial matter that she's missing, and most of all, I can't ignore it as her friend. Oh, that's cute, but maybe be a little careful about it and get Saber first. You said you'd be careful. Is this really being careful? You're letting your emotions get the better of you. Go consult Rin. I mean, yeah, Ayako is Rin's friend too. Maybe if you bring that up to her, you can call a truce. But, like, you gotta be very careful. Very careful.
悪い、セイバー。少しやることができた。
Sorry, Saber, I have something to do. Sure, you have something to do, but like, you could get Saber and be like, hey, stand by? You could. It's a thing you could do. You know, it's a thing. I apologize to Saber and leave my classroom. Ah, come on, Shiro. Mentally contact her. That's a thing you can do, right? Be like, hey, come close. Oh! This feels a little dumb. I know your emotions are controlling you, but you are getting smarter. No, Shiro, no. I should go talk to people in Mitsuri's class, room 2A. I mean, I guess in Shiro's defense, he doesn't necessarily know that Shinji's a master, so he might think something's up, but he doesn't have to necessarily believe that masters are involved. But he does know Rin's around, and he said, just so, you know. I should go talk to people in Mitsuri's class, room 2A. I can see why the emotions would be clouding him, given that he doesn't know Shinji's a master. And there's maybe not a big reason to suspect it, but... Yeah, that's true. Timeline 1, Shiro would just ignore this and go home. He's like, not much I can do it. It'll probably resolve itself. But Timeline 2, again, because he does think something sketchy is going on. And because he doesn't know the level of the sketchiness, I can understand him not calling for Saber, though it's still, you know, an edge case.
風邪でお休みしてますよ。
Ayako-chan's absent today because she's sick. Who's saying that? Who are you, random girl?
三綴なら休みだ。弓道部員ならそれぐらい知っているだろう。
Are they avoiding spreading rumors? Mitsuzuri is absent today. Should know that if you're in the archery club. Yes, but why? Nobody cares to look into why. They just assume, well, she'll be here tomorrow or whatever, but, Shiro can't just assume that. He no longer has the luxury.
だから欠席だって。鬼のかく乱さ。あいつの無遅刻無欠席もここで終わりだよね。
Oh, are these meant to be the, are these the rando girls? Because that sounds like the one edgy girl who's, you know, the leader of the bunch who's the edgiest. I'm telling you she's absent. Even devils get sick, huh? You don't like Aiko? I like Aiko. Rin's more the devil, if anything. Her record of not being absent today. Ha 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 ha. Info gathering. Carrie, be proud. You say Carrie, and I think Kirei. I never think of calling Kiritsugu Carrie. Just doesn't happen to me. I only think of it because I'm like, there's no way you're actually referring to Kirei. That's all I could get from the girls in her class. It seems everyone has been told that Mitsuzuri is absent because of illness.
邪魔したな。明日三綴が来たらこのことは黙っててくれ。
Sorry to interrupt. Don't tell her about this. She's here tomorrow. Right. Because the rest of the school, aside of the important figures, were just told that, oh, she's sick, but she's actually missing. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I wave goodbye and leave. If there's any place to go now, it'd be the archery range.
誰もいないか。そうだよな。部活は休みなんだから。
No one's here. Well, duh, there are no club activities today. Indeed. Shiro's on the prowl. With a bomb close by. Okay. Maybe it's because I was eating cereal, but even though I haven't had much to drink, when you have a cereal, you inherently have a lot of milk, I guess. So anyways, I gotta do a pee break because I kind of gotta pee because all that cereal milk, I suppose. So, no one is here. Well, duh, there are no club activities today. Let me just double check something. Yeah, okay, we're good. Alright, so Mitsuzuri is missing. And Shinji. Is Shinji around, or is he busy raping Ayako? And then Rin. Rin is probably info gathering too, because she's worried about Ayako. That might actually cause her to explode even earlier. I don't know, I don't know, because she might see, Shiro would be around, but then meanwhile, Ayako's missing, and that's gonna make Rin feel all bleh. And then Shiro's looking for Ayako, and then Rin, said that she'd fight Shiro, and that's going to make her feel even more like, I can look for Ayako, and then attack, and it's going to be messy. I don't know. I was still thinking it might happen anyway, but this arguably makes things worse, because Rin would care about Ayako too. There are no club activities today. The door to the range is shut tight. It doesn't seem like anyone's inside, so it's meaningless to stay here.
一斉に聞いてみるか。あれからなんか分かったかもしれないし。
I guess I'll talk to Issei. They might have some new information. It's possible. It's been 3 hours since lunch. It might be possible that she's already been found. It turned out nothing was wrong at all. Wouldn't it be nice? Dash. Man, I didn't think the student council would be closed as well. There aren't that many people here now, so it'll be difficult to ask around. You know who probably still is here? Rin, also looking for information because she cares about her friend Ayako. You guys are probably going to run into each other, and then the bomb's going to go off.
とりあえず戻ろう。三綴りのことなんだから、藤根がなんか知ってるだろうし。
I'll go home for now. Fujine should know something about Mitsuzuri, and as you're on your way to going home, before you get out of the school, you will run into Rin. It's too perfect to not happen. They've set it up so perfectly. He says tired, let the man sleep. He can sleep in class. Wait. I get my bag and go out into the hallway. The sky is tinted red. The sun is setting. It should get dark in an hour or so. Dark in an hour. So the timing, if it's dark in an hour, lunch was 3 hours ago. I would normally eat lunch at like 11, but I don't think it would get dark that early. So lunchtime probably, even though I normally would eat lunch at 11, school lunchtime, I don't remember what it is, but it's something like maybe 12, 1, and then 3 hours. He's been looking around a bit. School ends at what, 2? So 3 hours, an hour to get home. Why is the curfew? Curfew is like what, 6? It should be, it's moving earlier though. Lunch, I want to say it's 12. And then 2 is when the school ends, maybe. And then it's been an hour, so 3? 3, which means it's dark at 4? That seems weird. Maybe in winter it's normal? It depends. I mean, it's in Japan, so it's hard for me to say. I've never, because it can change depending on the season and stuff. So it very much can change depending on where you are. Shir said to Saber he'll get home before dark. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, okay. He's got an hour to keep that promise. I see. I was thinking of the school's curfew, but... The sun is setting, it should get dark in an hour or so. He's already broken the promise by not being alone, so it doesn't matter. It would just be a second broken promise. He's already broken one. I get to the stairs. As I start walking down, I hear a sound above my head. It's gonna be Rin. Question mark? I look up. There. Oh, fuck. That's a fancy picture. Tosaka is standing at the top of the stairs. She looks determined. Oh boy, Rin, do you really want to fight right now? When this Ayako situation is going on, you really want to fight now? Cheese and crackers, Rin.
あれ、Tosaka、まだ残ってたのか?
You're here too, Tosaka? Of course she is. She's figuring out if something's going on with the blood fort, which I guess you don't know about, but she would also be looking for Ayako too. I mean, I guess you don't know that they're friends maybe, but gosh. Ellipses. Does he not know that they're friends? I guess to be fair, Rin and Shiro haven't interacted too much until now. So possibly he doesn't know how close they are, but... She doesn't answer. First this morning, and then just now. I think her glares are getting worse every time I greet her. Soon it's not going to be just the glares you have to worry about, I don't think. And by soon I mean right now? What? I'm going to go if you don't have any business with me. Business? I mean, she has business. You're the one who brought business by coming here. She said, well, I guess she only said to Archer, don't leave the house. But still, she said next time you meet. I raise my bag to show her that I'm going home now. Sigh indeed. Ellipses question mark? I don't know why, but Tosaka sighs.
呆れた。サーバントを連れずに学校に来るなんて正気?
I'm stunned. Coming to school without your servant? Are you sane? It was kind of a dumb decision. To be fair, I don't know if you know that Shiro needs Saber to rest to gain energy, but that was more of an excuse anyways. Saber definitely should have been close by the instant Shiro decided that he was going to stay longer, and the fact that he didn't do that was definitely dumb. She murmurs without emotion.
正気かってそんなの当然だろ。だいたいセイバーは霊体化できないんだから学校に連れてこれるわけないじゃないか。
Of course I'm sane. I can't turn Saber into spirit form, so there's no way I can bring her to school. I mean, that's true, but so what? Bring Saber to school, have her stay close by. That's no excuse. The only real excuse is that Saber needs to rest. The fact that she can't turn into spirit form is a really bad reason.
それなら学校なんて休みなさい。マスターがサーバント抜きでのこのこ歩いてるなんて殺してくださいって言ってるようなものよ。
That's also a very fair point. Skip school. It's like asking for others to kill you if a master is walking without its servant. That's a very fair point. That's what he did in the other timeline. For a different reason, though. I can see, maybe, like, Shiro keeping up appearances, though, like, what's the point? He's not a very smart master anyway. I guess he wants to talk to Ayako or something. Or maybe he wants to make sure Sakura and Taiga are okay, and there's that instinct kicking in of making sure nothing bad happens to Sakura when she goes to school, and then he gets wrapped up into this Ayako thing, I suppose. It's true if he skipped school he wouldn't get all this info. But, like, does he really think there's info to get at the school? Because the only info potentially is about Rin, who he doesn't necessarily care to fight anyways. If he really wanted to really take it seriously, he could skip school and then look into info in other places. But he probably, you know, wants to look out for people like Sakura and Taiga and stuff and stay close by, you know. Maybe it's because he fears, well, what if a master shows up to attack Rin at school, you know, and if someone else gets caught up in the crossfire. So I can see the reasoning behind wanting to go to school, even though there's definite good reasoning to skip.
エミヤ君、自分がどれくらいおバカか分かってる?
Do you know how stupid you are, Emiya-kun? Not as stupid as in the first timeline, but I'll admit that there's some dumbness.
おバカってそんなことあるか?
I'm not stupid. I developed. Did you see the first timeline? Am I the only one with subconscious memories?
遠坂こそバカなこと言うなよな。マスターは人目のあるところじゃ戦わないんだろ。なら日中、特に学校なんて問題外じゃないか。
Don't say ridiculous things. Masters don't fight in front of people, right? It's out of the question to fight during daytime, and at school at that. And then Rin's follow-up question is, oh, where are the other people? Right?
じゃあ聞くけど、ここは人目のあるところかしら?
Oh, then let me ask you, are there people watching us now?
は?
Shiro's still not comprehending that she's gonna attack. From Shiro's perspective, what Rin's been saying is, what if another master comes and attacks you? I mean, Shiro's response would be, besides, you're close by. But no, Shiro, you're not getting it. What's she talking about? I don't even need to check if there are people around. Oh, gosh, you didn't even think about it, just because you don't want to fight her. Huh? Why is this? Conveniently, there's no one here. Well, of course there is. It's like everyone was told to go home early. Oh, maybe you are thinking a bit about Rin, but you're not thinking enough about Rin if that's what you're thinking now. There's no one in the third floor hallway. I'm sure that's the same for the fourth and second floor. The red tinted building is quiet. Oh, it's possible. It's possible Rin purposely shooed them away. That's very possible that Rin was like, I have to take this seriously. Shiro's here. He's unguarded, and she shooed people away early on. That's possible. In which case, yeah, Shiro should have gotten out of here ASAP. If she was doing that on purpose to deal with Shiro, then she's not just a normal bomb. She didn't just explode out of nowhere. Or rather, she exploded this morning probably, and maybe was setting this up the whole time like, I have to go through with it. Which is surprising that it's not just an in-the-moment thing. It's something she built up towards if she really did go her way to shoot people away. I bet there are only teachers remaining on the first floor.
ようやくわかったみたいね。
It seems you finally understand. Although I think it's more likely that he wasn't taking seriously how much time was passing while he was looking around, maybe. Though it could be a combination of both.
ほんと、朝は呆れたのを通り越して頭にきたわ。
Geez, I was more pissed than astonished this morning. Of course you were, because you don't want to have to fight me.
あれだけ教えてあげたのに、どうして自分からやられに来るのかって。
I told you so many times, but you still came to get killed. Sure, let's put it like that. I mean, if we're gonna fight, it's because you want it. Shiro has no interest. Saying so angrily, Tosaka rolls up her sleeve. You don't get to take this back once you start this, Rin. It's probably gonna get taken back anyway, and Shiro's a nice guy, but I would say you don't get to take this back if you start this. There are no later team-ups if you attack me here. There's going to be a later team-up. But there are no later team-ups if you attack me. You want to fight Berserker together? Nah. You want to deal with Blood Fourth thing together? Nah. If you attack me here, I feel like our ties are cut. They're going to be uncut. But I feel like this should be final. It won't be final. I feel from a mentality perspective, if Rin attacks me here, she should be respecting the notion that this could be final. But she's not, because she's not really being rational, to be fair. And Shiro's kind of forgiving, so what's going to happen probably is she's going to attack, they're going to fight, and then, I don't know, because the Blood Fort thing is going on, and they're doing this in the midst of some shenanigan stuff, something might interrupt them. I feel like if it does, Rin's kind of cheating to take it back at that point. I think she has to realize during the fight herself to take it back, but, saying so angrily, Tosaka rolls up. I'm going to be very curious to see how they develop this into them being fuckmates. Or rather, first they're going to be friends, then fuckmates, of course. But they're going to have to make up, assuming this is the Rin route, which it seems very much like it is. So I'm going to be curious how they do that. Okay, Tosaka rolls up her sleeve. Because to me it feels like if Tosaka does attack, and then they become friends again afterwards, at the very least, I'll be willing to accept it if Tosaka understands that, yeah, I fucked up big time, I should have been thinking more. And not just, like, hand wave, which, given her outward personality, she probably would just hand wave it, even if she was thinking that on the inside. So, but then again, if this is the Rin route, we might get to dig inside. Nah. Saying so angrily, Tosaka rolls up her sleeve. Because this is a big move. To me, this is like a no takes backs these things. Like, we are just enemies now, if you do this. Dash, 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 dash. A slender white arm. Again, that's me, though, not Shiro. Shiro would be willing to forgive Rin, I suppose, but then, yeah. On the feminine arm, something like a glowing tattoo appears. Nande? It's not a command spell. Could that be? Even though I don't have one, it must be the proof of a magus, a magic crest.
説明するまでもないわよね。
I don't even need to explain to you, right?
これが私の家に伝わる魔術の結晶よ。ここに刻まれた魔術なら、私は魔力を通すだけで発動させることができる。
I don't even need to explain to you, right? This is the crystallization of the magic passed down my family. I can cast any magic carved on here just by filling it with magical energy. Yes. A magic crest is like an attached engine, separate from the magic circuit in a magus. There's no difficult incantation or procedure to follow. It is an ultimate hastening mechanism that runs the car called magic just by turning it on. I mean, to be fair, the circle does that too. You just don't know how to do it, and Rin hasn't taught you in this pathway. But the magic crest will not show up unless it's in use. The magic crest is like a separate magic circuit that is formed using the magical energy of the Magus, or of their heritage.
アーチャーは帰らせたわ。あなたぐらいこの刻印に刻まれた呪いで十分だもん。
Of course. Even though it would be smarter to have Archer to just snipe him and take him out, if that's what you really wanted, you don't, because it gives you cooties, and if Archer did it, you know you would, like, never be able to forgive yourself. You have to do it yourself. I understand the fucked up logic, but also, if you were really being strategical, just have Archer snipe him. I told Archer to go home. The grand shot in the magic crest should be enough for you. There's no emotion in her voice. There's very much emotion in her actions, though. Dash, 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 dash. That makes me realize that she's serious.
逃げてもいいけど辛いだけよ。どうせ勝つのは私なんだから。
You can run away, but that's just making it hard on yourself. I'm going to win in the end no matter what you do. Sure you want to do this, Rin? Are you sure? You really sure? I know you're not sure. I know you're conflicted inside. Shiro, make sure you say the right things here. This is where things get very... I mean, you should have said the right things before, but, you know, last chance to say the right things, Shiro. She coldly says so. But my head's spinning. I guess he's just not... He can't properly comprehend what it's like to fight Rin. Especially if he has subconscious memories from the other timeline. He might not want to at all. But, even without them, I guess he's just the kind of person that wouldn't really want to. Fight here? Why does it have to be here? Why, where else do you want to fight, Shiro? Why does it have to be now? And why do I have to fight against Tosaka?
待て、父さん。お前正気か。ここ学校だぞ。下手に騒げば誰がやってくるか分かったもんじゃ。
Hold on, Tosaka, are you insane? This is the school. Who knows who will come if we make a commotion?
その時はその時よ。私ね、目の前のチャンスは逃さない主義なの。エミヤ君には悪いけど、ここで片付けさせてもらうわ。
Yeah, that's fucking cold. I'll think about it when that happens. You're the speed chess person dealing with things when they happen, not prepping. Still, you could think a little bit more. Because, yeah, especially because, here's why this is really dumb, Rin. Like, it'd be one thing if you were going to be cold like this, but in the school where you know someone set up another magic thing, and Lancer's running around, who may or may not have been the same person that set up the magic fort thing, you're still going to make a move now, here in the school. Like, to me that seems, of course you're going to draw the attention of either maybe Lancer or the Blood Fort person. If they are different people, we know they're different people. Maybe you don't, but you know, at least one servant could be running around, and you're still going to make a commotion here. That seems very dumb. Oh. Yeah, she has no servant at school. That's right, because she's having Archer do something else? I mean, Archer, I don't know, might be able to reach her really quickly. I don't know. But, yeah, it seems very... That's the real reason why it's... Even if you were going to be cold and kill Shiro like this, that's why it's very dumb, Rin, to do it now, in school, when you know someone like Lancer and the Blood Fort stuff is around. That's why it's very dumb.
それに、今日みたいにフラフラされてたら、私の神経が持ちそうにないし。
Doing this itself is careless. Just let him get killed, but you won't, because if anyone kills him but you don't think you'll be able to handle it. Besides, I don't think I can stand having you walk around carelessly.
だから待てって。だいたい俺は遠坂と戦う気なんて。
I said, hold on. I don't have any intention of fighting you. Too late, buddy. She has an intention of fighting you.
あなたになくても私にはあるの。いいから覚悟なさい、シロ。
I do even if you don't. Just prepare yourself, Shiro. Oh boy. It's happening. Are you gonna fight me with kitty gloves, or are you going straight for the big guns? She moves her arm and starts to fight. Dash, dash, dash! What sort of magic is it? The instant she points her left hand at me, my vision is filled with light. Ellipses. Run? Move? Something? If you don't want to fight her, fucking just run away for now. Especially because I guess Shiro doesn't know this, but... I mean, there's other magical people around. Run away, otherwise they're gonna... You know, they might try to take you both out at once. Oh, I hope that's not what happens. Is that someone... It would make logical sense I just don't think it. I wouldn't think it. Okay, it would make logical sense if someone tries to take advantage of this, like even Shinji. I don't know, to try to take them both out at once while they're fighting. But I don't think I'd like that because if they end up teaming up as a result of it, I don't know. To me, that feels like a cop out for Rin. If she's already decided I'm gonna fight Shiro, that feels like such a cop out if that's what happens. It would make logical sense, I feel, if that was the progression. But I feel Rin has to. They have to be very careful with how they handle Rin if they're gonna do that. Smart move is get out of school as quick as public and get to the public. Sure, but yeah, oof. It's about 4 steps forward to the stairs leading to the second floor. If I'm to retreat back to the hallway, it'll also take me about 4 steps to get to cover. I guess we'll just have to see how this fight goes, but I have so many ideas about how they could do this, so it would just make me not like Tosaka, but we'll see. This is no time to think. Oh god, no time to think. So, here's a choice. Tosaka fight. Toe sucker. Jump to the stairs or jump back to the hallway. The fact that I'm already predicting this is like the Rin timeline where you bang Rin kind of alters my perception of this a little. If I could have more easily accepted that, oh, they're just going to fight and this isn't necessarily the Rin timeline, I don't know if that it would be bugging me as much. But knowing that the fight's happening and then already prematurely assuming that that's where it's going just ickies this a little bit. Because it makes me... It'd be different if I just let it play out and then it got to it and then it just felt natural and I'm like, oh, that works. But knowing that it gets there beforehand, assuming that it gets there beforehand because of the format, makes me think, oh, really? And it gets there anyways? Oh, that could be so icky if they do it wrong. But, anyways, jump to the stairs or jump back in the hallway. The instant she points her left hand at me, my vision is filled with light. It's about 4 steps forward to the stairs. If I am to retreat back to the hallway, it'll also take me about 4 steps. I have to change floors, right? I can't be staying on the same floor. Back to the hallway? No way, I have to go to the stairs. If I just stay in the hallway, I'm not making any progress in the fight. Stairs. Tosaka's serious. There's no place to run, even if I retreat back to the hallway. I'll jump down to the stairs in front of me. I kick the floor with full force. It's about 1.5 meters down, and I can easily take this kind of height. I mean, yeah, you can, given how durable you are. A running long jump of 1.5 meters. A meter wide. A running long jump of 1.5 meters high. Oh, 1 meter wide. For a second, I'm like, 1 meter high and half wide? Wait, what? I land without hurting myself. Good job. Foo! Is that foo or fuh? I have an advantage of 1 floor between us. Well, keep going all the way down. So now I only have to run down the first floor and get out of the build. Ding! Dash, dash. What happened? You got shot? She trick-shotted? It came from above. It feels like a giant blob of jelly fell on top of me. Uh-oh. I can't move my legs. Uh-oh. The weight on the jelly is stopping my feet. I try to shake off the pressure on my back. Is there going to be a real fucking Taiga Dojo with Rin? Is there actually going to be timelines where she can just kill me? To be fair, Saber was our fuck buddy in the other timeline, and she killed me, in one bad ending there. But that was a little bit different. She was really heavily prodded. I mean, I guess you could argue Rin has similar psychological baggage, but... at least there it was like a final hour villain tries to turn them against you. If Rin can kill me here much earlier, that's gonna be a little more like... I try to shake off the pressure on my back. I feel like throwing up when I move, even at that bad end. Saber broke down afterwards. I mean, Rin, let's be fair though, I think Rin's gonna break down afterwards if she kills me. But, I mean, this is not a moment of doubt though. It's a whole big shebang. However, it's still very possible she breaks down when she kills me. I feel like, Rin, if you kill me, then I hope you know that I want Ilya to win. Fuck you, Rin. I feel like throwing up when I move. It's cold. I have goosebumps all over me. My joints are hurting. My muscles are heavy, and my organs are half shut down. Crap! It's not because of the jelly that I can't move. This is a bad case of the cold? Oh, cold magic. Tosaka's magic. The gander shot. A magic that'll infect the target with a cold has hit me. Okay, that's a thing now, apparently. The gander shot. A thing she just said, but you suddenly know what it is. What is Archer doing at the moment? I don't remember. I could go back and check, but I want to stay in the moment of the fight right now. Might go back and check after the fight's over. Has hit me. As a result, my body is so sick that it can't move on its own. So it hit you even though you jumped down? It must have been a trick shot.
予想通りね。簡単な逃げ道を用意しておけば、まずそこを通ると思ったわ。
Oh, fuck, that's smart. Ah! Just as I suspected. I knew you'd go there if I prepared an easy escape route. Ah, no! No, Saber, save me! If I have to waste a command spell when facing Rin, that would be really fucking stupid. Maybe in that case, going out the window, just jumping straight out the window. Does Shiro know to take advantage of his own bullshit, though? Jumping straight out the window might be easier than going for the stairs, because Rin maybe preps and thinks you'll go for the stairs. That's a very fair point. Oh, but do we just have to rely on Shiro's bullshit Avalon? I don't know. I knew you'd go there if I prepared an easy escape route. I thought in this timeline we could be smarter, but I guess to be fair, when you're smart and the enemy is smart, they could plan for you being smart. That's a fair point. So, I hear Tosaka's voice from afar as if she's contacting me from the moon.
先に謝っておくわ。これからすることは命を取るのと同じぐらいひどいから。
As bad as? Let me apologize first. What I'm going to do now is as bad as taking away your life. As bad as? Well, what is it that you're doing if you're just not killing me? Why not just kill me then? Her cold fingers dig into my neck. Oh, fuck! When I realize it's Tosaka's finger and try to fling it away.
さよなら。
Well, what are you doing if you're not killing me? Goodbye!
あなたは知らなかっただろうけど、私結構前からあなたのこと知ってたんだ。
Oh, wait, what? What the fuck? I don't think you knew, but I've known you for a long time. You do really care about me. You did, yeah, it wasn't just for Sakura when you brought me back. The way you're talking, it's not, so we haven't just been casual acquaintances. You knew me for longer for some other reason. What reason? I don't think you knew. How did Shiro not know, but you know? Did Shiro save you when you were a kid, but didn't know any better, but you've been thinking about it the whole time? How much My consciousness shuts down as if it's shorted out. What did she do to you? If she didn't kill you... Ilya, I hope you fuck her up and win the war. Ilya should win that one. Fuck Rin. What the fuck?
あれ、なんだ、もう朝か。
That's not a bad ending. Okay, so this is some kind of genjutsu hypnosis? Rin didn't kill me because she still likes me way too much. Instead, she put me in some kind of eternal Tsukuyomi, some alternate reality world where I get to live out my happy days, but I'm actually dead, and so she's going to keep me in this state. But, like, why? I mean, she doesn't want to kill me, but does this take care of Saber? Because if it doesn't, couldn't Saber break him out of this? Is this permanent? Can it be reversed? It's morning already? I rouse my sleepy mind and pull myself up. It's past 6 o'clock. I should be preparing breakfast now.
おはようございます先輩。朝食の支度もうできてますよ。
Good morning, senpai. Breakfast is already prepared.
悪い。またさくら一人に任せちまった。なんかすごく眠くて起きられなくてさ。
I'm sorry.
夜は俺が作るからそれで勘弁してくれ。
I made you do it by yourself again. I'll make dinner, so please forgive me.
ダメです、そんなの。今日の夕飯は私の番なんですから。
No, you can't do
先輩はお
that.
となしくしててください。
It's my turn to cook tonight, so please let me. What is this? I mean, I already theorized about what it is, but it's going specifically for the soccer scene. Is that because it knows I chose the soccer scene, or is Saber being left out on purpose?
しかしだな、朝も夜もさくらに任せっきりってのは甘えすぎだろう。頼むから今夜は譲ってくれ。
I'd be relying on you too
俺は
much.
返上したいんだ。
If I made you cook breakfast and dinner, let me cook tonight. I want to make it up to you for sleeping in.
そうですね。じゃあ夕飯は半分こということで。
Then let's cook together. Oh shit, did Rin shack up Shiro and Sakura in his fantasy world? Because Rin doesn't think, definitely doesn't think she'd deserve him if she's doing this to him, I guess. And she knows that Sakura likes him, so sure, just give him that happy fantasy. Is that what this is?
私もお手伝いしますから、先輩は早めに帰ってきてください。
I'll help you, so please come home early.
すまん。バイト今日は早めに上がる。
Alright, I'll cut work short today. Oh yeah, he's not even going to school, he's going to work, just work. It's the husband and wife fantasy. I head to the table while apologizing to Sakura. Breakfast already on the table. Fujine runs in the last second like always. No Saber though. Okay. Fujine runs in. Fujine is still here though.
おはよう。みんな今朝も元気だね。ってあれ？シロどうしたのこれ？
Good morning. Everyone sure is doing well this morning. Wait, huh? What is this, Shiro?
は？どうしたのって何が？
Hmm? What do you mean?
藤
Did you
ね、家に忘れ物か？
did you forget something at your house? What did you forget, Taiga? Or is it me? Is it me? Is it I'm gonna look in the mirror and I'm dead. I've
おかしいな。なんかおかしいと思ったんだけど、おかしいところなんてどこもないや。
Huh? That's weird. I thought something strange, but nothing strange at all. Is this real? Is this not a fake reality? Was she not killed? Or was he not killed? He was just his memory was erased and tampered by Rin, and maybe... Oh! As bad as killing you. Okay, maybe what this... Okay, maybe he's not dead. Maybe this isn't... And maybe this isn't a hypnosis. Maybe this is real. And... I don't know, it's hard to say though. It'd be one thing if it was just Rin Shiro fighting, but there's all this other Grail War shit going on. Especially with the school and stuff. I was gonna say, maybe this is real, but Rin stole his memories of the Grail War and magic in general, essentially turned him into a muggle. Rin did say in the first timeline that losing your magic is like, oh, it's, you'd sooner die. So maybe that's why Rin felt it was so bad. And Rin took the magic away, made him a muggle without memories of it, and then took out Saber. Did that somehow also take out Saber if she did that? But then, again, that's hard to believe. It seems more likely it's like a hypnosis thing because everything else with the Grail War going on would probably leak back to him anyways, but... I thought something strange, nothing strange at all. I'm thinking that, though, because she's acting like something strange. She noticed Saber's missing. They were all hypnotized to an extent.
けど引っかかるな。シロ、あんたなんか忘れ物してない？
But it's still bothering me. Shiro, aren't you forgetting something? Forgetting Saber? Maybe this is hypnosis, and Shiro is already doubting his own hypnosis because Saber's connection is that strong?
はぁ？忘れ物、例えばどうのだよ。
Forgetting something? Like what?
私に聞かないでよ。わからないから聞いてるんじゃない。
Don't ask me, I'm asking you since I can't figure it out.
さくらちゃんはおかしいって思わない？なんか足りないっていうか、なんか忘れてるっていうか。
Sakura-chan, don't you think something strange? Feels like we're forgetting something or missing something. Yeah, you're missing a saber.
私は特に内村先生の気のせいだと思いますよ。
Sakura would want Saber to be out of there, though, because, love rival. No, I think it's just your imagination, Fujimura-sensei.
何も忘れてませんし、誰も忘れていないでしょう。
That's creepy. We're not forgetting anything, nor are we forgetting anyone.
まあそっか、思い出せないってことは大したことじゃないってことだし。
Oh well, if I can't remember it, it must mean it's not important. Fujine seems satisfied as she sits down and starts eating. This is a normal morning in this household. 30 minutes after Fujine and Sakura leave, I leave the house as well. Oh, was I... Okay. If this is real, Sakura's acting sus. Yeah, I'm like, that makes me think, oh, it's hypnosis, because Sakura's acting weird. But Fujimura's acting like, oh, something's... Yeah. That makes me think that it is real. Sakura's acting sus. I don't know. Maybe Sakura's in on it? That would be hard to believe. But she is definitely acting sus. Maybe she's also hypnotized, but wants to believe the hypnotism because she really felt like Saber was a love rival. You say happy ending, but I don't believe it. If this is meant to be real and not not just like mind jutsu reality thing, if this is meant to be real, then I think it's just gonna be purple sauce. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be a bad ending regardless, and we're gonna die because there's some random school bullshit going on, and Shinji might just kill us. I walk up the hill. It's past 7:30. The road is filled with students like me. A familiar scene. I breathe in the perfect morning air. Then, yep, there's Rin. And she doesn't think she deserves to talk to you anymore after what she did to you. Even if it's real, Kirei would just wreck everyone one day. I mean, I feel like even before that, Shinji will just fucking kill us. I mean, Rin might try to protect us in that case. She's really going out of her way to not kill us, at least. That makes me feel a little bit better. You know what? That makes me feel a little bit better. If this is what this is, if this is this is real, and she just erased my memories and maybe erased my magic, that makes me feel better about Rin. And that if they do have an eventual team up, it doesn't feel as icky if this was her specific plan to do this, to keep him alive still. That makes me feel better about it. Because if you're keeping him alive and just forcing him out of the war, I feel a lot better about it. Definitely. I understand he had reasons for wanting to be in the war, but I think that's the nice way to resolve it, if that's really what happened. Okay. Then, I noticed that a female student is looking at me. Your memories of Rin were erased, right? Because she thinks it's not right to associate with you. She thinks that if she, took your will, took your magic away from you, it's not fair that she associates with you. She can't allow herself to, probably, is what she thinks. She must have found it awkward that our eyes met as she starts walking on quickly. Yeah, this is all pointing to this being real. If it is real, I'm probably going to get a bad ending. Because, I mean, they could just dead end us, but it seems more likely that someone's going to kill me, like Shinji, because it's too much Grail stuff is going on. And, unless Rin just dealt with it all off screen, doubting that.
なんだエミヤ、今遠坂と睨み合っていたのか。
Oh, Emiya, were you glaring at Tosaka?
え、ああ、おはよう、伊勢。
Morning, Issei.
今のは別に睨み合ってたわけじゃない。
I wasn't glaring at
目
her.
があっただけだよ。
It's just that our eyes met.
そうなのか。ならいいが、くれぐれも遠坂に喧嘩など売るなよ。あいつは倍返しが心情だからな。
Really?
残る1年の学園生活を棒に振ることになる。
That's fine, but make sure not to pick a fight with Tosaka, okay? It's her principle to counter twice as hard. You'll be throwing away your last year in school if you do so. I don't know how serious he is as Issei murmurs Buddhist scriptures. But that's needless worry.
バカ。喧嘩を売るも何も。
Are you stupid? First of all, I don't even know her. Was Issei not brainwashed? Because he was not acting like, yeah, were you glaring at Tosaka? Well, I guess to be fair, he could say that even if he knows Tosaka and Shiro doesn't, I suppose.
いや、まあ、すごい美人だったけど、あんなのうちの学校にいたっけ？
Well, she did look beautiful, but I didn't know such a person went to our school. Rin can protect us from everything except Kirei, probably. Rin is still a softie at heart if this is real. It's kind of sad, though, undoes all character development of Shiro. Possibly. I mean, if this is Timeline 2 Shiro, though, you know, I think he would retain some of that, so he means he could still be in a better place eventually. Ultimately, I think the Grail War is just going to fuck everything up, but especially Shinji would want to target him specifically. And possibly Kirei, though Kirei might have lost interest if Rin did this. Shinji, though, would still want to fuck me up. So that's why I'm predicting a Shinji kill me death. Although, they would have to hide... No, it's not a plot twist anymore. Because if you saw Timeline 1 first, then it's not a plot twist. They can just have Shinji kill you, right? I didn't know such a person went to our school. Or writer, as it were.
それが正しい対応だ。あれは人の手に余る。関わらぬよう過ごすのが人の道というものよ。
So Shiro and Taiga were brainwashed. Sakura might have been brainwashed, but it doesn't seem like Issei was affected. Yes, that is the correct response. That thing is too much for us humans. It's our way not to get involved with her. You think Shiro is just playing coy. She did look beautiful. Shiro still pointed out her beauty. You can see the clear attraction. Without Shiro, Rin goes full cold and just let Archer rampage and snipe everyone. I mean, you say that, but, like, does she know to snipe some people? Like, she doesn't know who everyone is yet, so maybe she wins anyways. Maybe, but I'm doubting it. And this seems like it's not long after. I could be wrong. Maybe there is a big time skip, though. Maybe the war's over. Maybe Rin fucking won. I don't...
いや、一時はどうなるかと思ったが、これにて一件落着。
I was worried for a second, but everything is settled now. Issei goes up the hill. Ellipses. I watch him go as I stand there. Oh yeah, Gilgamesh is a big question mark too. The two archers facing off. And I mean, last time Berserker beat Archer, although Archer was wounded, but a morning scene with nothing missing. My left hand hurts a bit. That was where the command spells were. Maybe they got taken by Rin so she can use extra, because you can use potentially if you take them, right?
一見落着って何が起きて何が終わったんだ
Everything settled? What happened and what ended? I hear the first bell from the top of the hill. It's 8 o'clock already. As the school gates close, I feel like I'm locked out from something.
俺は確か
Nothing comes to mind. I feel uneasy for some reason. I can't think of where to go or where to return to. Ooh. And you're just going to keep feeling like this? That could definitely fuck you up mentally. Happy ending? Bad end. Okay. Nobody killed me. At least not yet. If she took Saber, given the chance, Archer would not be happy about that. Okay. So that was what Rin did. Rin gets the threesome ending? Jeez. So, okay, it was real. It seemed real. Rin wiped my memory of a lot of stuff. She also tampered with Taiga's memory. Sakura was sketchy as fuck. Probably what happened is that Rin tried to alter Sakura's memory, but Sakura is secretly a plot twist. So she actually knew some things, but just played along because she wasn't sure what to do about the situation. That would be my guess of the matter. Okay. So it makes me feel a little bit better about Rin, that she was at least just gonna wipe his memories and not straight up kill him. But, no, that just straight up makes me feel better about it. She was still conflicted, I guess, because she felt like, letting him make his own choices, letting him be his own person, and especially if she knew him from before and he, like, saved her in the past or something, then it's also possible that she felt bad about, fighting him at all for that reason. Which increases if that is the case, then her confliction would have been even more so. But the reason, if she had that plan all along to do that, okay, she's even more conflicted and likes him even more than I thought, but she had a plan a plan for it. So it sort of raises the stakes on both sides. admitting she knew him for a long time. Big character hint for Rin. Yeah. I mean, for sure. Definitely something's been up with Rin for a long time and how much she likes Shiro. It felt weird for sure. I'm like, is it just love at first sight? You just have these weird feelings? But there, it does seem to be an origin point. Alright. Is the Taiga Dojo take the advice? Always. It's new! It looks different! Taiga! You're not in the dojo, you're on the street? Your new dojo is just on the street? Congratulations, everyone! I don't think that's true. This is the true ending of Tosaka-san's route. That seems like a very big gotcha. Life is back to normal for Shiro. This is indeed a grand finale. Sure. Sure. Fujimura's route. Yes, let's fuck our teacher. What? I mean, you're not that much older. Well, everyone, let's meet next time in Fujimura Sensei's route. We don't need Tiger. Yes, that's what we needed. Thank you, Ilya. No way, you idiot! Oh yeah, I also like the endings that are more than just Shiro dies. I've said this elsewhere, but I like it when a game can have alternate endings that aren't just, you know, it's the bad, it's either the true ending or you die. So this is a fun twist on that. I like it a lot. The game has had other endings that are more than just Shiro dies, but they aren't that common. Sometimes the way he dies is fun, but he usually dies. This is, wait. This is the same is this the same Taiga Dojo? It looks the same. Is there slight differences? You told me there'd be a new Taiga Dojo. Don't you lie to me. Lies that sound like they're true are not allowed. We can't have anyone checked into confusion in the Q&A corner. You've grown strong. Why does Rin look like that? Why in these dojos? Senpai, you look beautiful as always. Just go and explain the situation. You know the situation, Rin. You don't feel happy about it. 2 ways? Wait, what? Us! There are 2 ways to get this bad end! The room looks slightly different, but it's... it's hard to pin down exactly what's different. That looked to me like her mouth. I didn't take that as her smoking. I just thought that was her mouth. One is a simple mistake in your choice. Getting shot at after stupidly escaping forward. No, you have to escape backward. What's the second one? Wait. Oh, fuck! You just straight up say it! And the other is a bit troubling, and that is the case where you come here from Saber's route. What? So if you veer into Unlimited Blade Works from... That makes sense! So if you veer into Unlimited Blade Works from the Fate route, you just always get this ending and never get that choice? You never get the choice to go stairs or not stairs, or you do get the choice, but always, Rin always beats you. And so, I was saying, it doesn't make sense, because Shiro had used a command spell in the Unlimited Blade Works route, but not in the Fate route. So, okay. That's why it doesn't, that's why they can let you dovetail, because... I get it now. I was wondering, that's been bugging me. I'm like, well, how are they going to reconcile that? Because you use one spell versus not. And I eventually was going to go back and check that, but this answers that for me. Okay, if you dovetail on Saber's route, you just die no matter what. Probably because you're not smart enough. Because Shir's not a smart enough fighter to fight Rin in Timeline 1. Yeah, he's too dumb to deal with Rin. That sounds about right. Okay. Huh. And Rin ends up just as conflicted. I guess that's true if Rin offers the team upping and Shiro turns it down. We have to see that now. I have to go out of my way to find it. Oh, now that I know that's what that does, there's going to be some slight differences. I'm going to want to find that and see that. I don't think I want to do it right now. Of course not. But I'm going to check that later. Now that I know that that's what that is, I have to see that. I have to see all the minor differences because there's going to be minor differences and I'm going to want to analyze them, but not right now. Oh, that's so good to finally know that. That's been bugging at the back of my mind of how does it become different? It's a bad ending. It was a bad... I said that I thought it was a bad ending, but there were no more bad endings, and then it ends up being a UBW bad ending, but it's a double trouble W bad ending. It's double. It's a two-timer. You came here from Saber's route. Such a revelation. That's such much revelation. Wowzers.
わかりやすく言うと、4日目のルートタイトルがフェイトだったくせに、5日目がアンリミテッドグレードワークスの人は4日目の朝からやり直し。
To put it simply, you need to restart from the morning of the 4th day if the 5th day's title was Unlimited Blade Works, even though the title on the 4th day was Fate. To answer your question, Topoima, which I probably already answered by this point, no, I didn't get this. I stopped. As soon as I realized, oh, it's Unlimited Blade Works, what the fuck? I went back and started the Unlimited Blade Works executable from the start. So, if we somehow get to a different timeline, then we know we're fucked. I guess so. If we veer into a different route, if we have the wrong girl route, we're just gonna die. I assumed, holy fuck, so I could have done it all along? Ah, why? Because I assumed that, I was wondering, like, wait, we can make, so this is like a New Game Plus thing. Now that we've already done the Fate timeline, we're able to dovetail. We're able to turn down Rin's cooperation, and then we dovetail into Unlimited Blade Works. And I was wondering, well, what if we hadn't finished Fate yet? Then what? And so it would have happened anyway, and we would have just got an early preview on Unlimited Blade Works and died? How much of the preview would we have gotten? Some of the stuff had to be... Oh, I have to see that stuff. I have to see some of that stuff. Oh, I have to see some of that stuff. Oh, that explains it. That's crazy and funny and oh my gosh. That's what makes this so fun. I enjoy moments like this that would not be possible if I was using, say, a flowchart. These realization moments. Oh. Wow. To put it more simply, death to betrayers. Yeah, I get it. Team up with you, Rin. I understand. I'm too stupid in Timeline 1 to fight you. I will believe that. That's wrong, Senpai. We came to this bad end because the alliance was not formed. It's not that Shiro betrayed you. Ellipses. She's gone. Anyway, there are two ways to avoid this bad end. Escape back when you're attacked by Rin, or if the choice didn't even appear, you have to restart from the morning of the 4th day. Oh, this would be really funny to get. If I was like my first playthrough and decided, no, don't team up, I was instantly team up. I'm like, of course it's smart to team up. Not teaming up would be idiotic. So I went straight for it. But if I didn't team up and I could have seen this first, that would have been crazy to be like, escape back when you're attacked by Rin. To just, to get the little preview is so funny. Oh. Oh, the little opening closing. Taiga didn't even show up. It was just Taiga on the street and Elia for the dojo. Elia to the rescue, I guess. Oh my gosh. Oh. What dojo does that count as? It's 16. Oh, interesting. Knowing Rin knew Shiro for a long time helps a lot of context as well in the Fate route. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it seemed clear to me from the start. Rin had some kind of weird attraction to Shiro that wasn't properly explained. Like, I was thinking, love at first sight? You just like that Shiro saved Sakura and you want him to save you too? It seemed weird. It seemed really weird how close she was instantly, how much she liked him, and then how much she just saddled into a role of being friends with him. So it makes a lot of sense. We don't have the full context, but it makes a lot of sense. So I skipped a bad ending. That makes sense. I skipped a bad ending when I was fighting Berserker. I'm normally not going to check those, actually. That's right. I wanted to check that one specifically, because that one's kind of weird, because it counts as 2 bad ends at once. But, normally I probably won't check those Taiga Dojos until we finish the playthrough, because I don't want to know when they happened. Yeah. That's a true statement. But that one I was curious about, because, you know... Do I still have the other save point loaded up? Yeah, it's this one. Or no, it's not. This one's still UBW. Time for Timeline 2 Shiro to actually deal with Rin. Where is it? It's this one. Right. 4th the afternoon, Saber's circumstances. It's this one. Yeah, because this is all Fate bullshit. I think... No, it's this one. Why so why so different? Taiga, telephone murder Fuji. This is the one. This is the one that's still on the Fate route, if memory serves. Yes. So if we loaded up this one, it would just ultimately lead us to this bad end, I suppose. I will mess with this later on, but not right now, because I kind of do want to see some of the differences. But that might just be a post-UBW thing. Oh, that's so neat. Yeah, it would be this one, though, I think. And this one, right? Yes, it would be this one as well. This one counts. How far does this go? Times 2. Shiro archery bad, the very. Secret pathway, nani? Yeah, we would load from here then. And then what? Yeah, because this one was when we saw the Unlimited Blade Work Interlude. We'd load from here and just go forward. I will definitely do that when we finish the UBW timeline, I think. I'm definitely gonna do it. Not right now, though. I'm very curious about it. I love the implication Timeline 1 Shiro just loses all the fights against Rin. Oh, for sure. No matter what, he's just gonna lose. I would believe it. Shiro in Timeline 1 is just stupid. Toe sucker fight. You know what? It's a little early. Normally I might go for 30 more minutes. But I'm actually a fan of, I'm a fan of narrative beats. Even though we're not going to chase down that other thing right now. I'm a fan of narrative beats. That was a good narrative beat. If I watched the fight now, I probably wouldn't be able to get through the full fight. I have about 30 minutes. I might be able to. But that felt like such a good narrative moment. Normally I would feel less bad about this, but I skipped 1.5 days. However, I think I am going to stop a little earlier than I normally would, because that felt like a good narrative beat. And I'm a fan of, if it feels like a good narrative beat, and I'm close to when I would stop anyways, I think I am going to stop for the day. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, I will see you guys next time. Still don't have an outro phrase. That was some good realization. Finally figured out what the fuck that was. The thing with the dovetail in the Fate pathway. Oh, that's the best part of this whole video. Nothing, I mean, look, the fight with Rin, that's fun and all, but I love that realization. So I'll see you guys next time. Still no outro phrase. YouTube video, stop recording.